Are we? Okay. So it appears that it was either a typo or a miscommunication. The meeting was announced to start at 6 o'clock, but it usually starts at 6:30. Therefore, we're going to open the meeting now at 6:06, and then we're going to take a recess until 6:30 because there'll be confusion. There'll be people that are thinking it's 6:30 and people that are here at 6. So the people that are here at 6 can feel smart because they looked, and the ones that are here at 6:06 thinking they're 20 minutes early can sit here and get organized.
Is that it?
I'd call the meeting, yeah, I'm not even going to call a roll call until 6:30.
Right.
So that gets anybody that's online or on Zoom or anything else wondering what's going on somewhat informed. Anybody in the room? So they must have...
All right, thank you. I guess we're back to the meeting. Richard, you guys tabled it, you said? Tabled the meeting?
We took a break,
Yeah,
took a recess.
Yeah, recess.
Just recess? I guess we're off recess now, so we're back in order. We're gonna go forward. I'm gonna make a call, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. I guess my colleague did, our clerk, Jim Akabachi. I'll make a roll call. My far right, Mr. Connor Alden, Troy Larson. My far left, Mr. Christopher Conti, Mr. Richard Semple, myself, Chair Nazi Al-Khalasi. Also, we have our clerk, Jim Akabachi. He's in the back room listening to some tapes, but we can conduct some business while he's doing that. We're gonna move to the minutes, they're already done. We're gonna move to Taunton Federal Credit Union. Is there anyone here from? All right, very well. Just name your address, sir, for record.
Good evening. Nelson Tavares, Taunton Federal Credit Union, 14 Church Green, Taunton.
All right, so how'd you guys made out with that curb?
I believe we did well. We've addressed the outstanding items. We were issued a temporary permit.
Yeah.
We've finished the dumpster enclosure as requested, and modifications to the front entrance curb as requested as well. If you don't have pictures with you, I do have color copies here as well if you'd like to see them.
We've got Alan and Major's letter, so,
We have
Great.
Alan Major letter.
yeah, Alan and Major's, I believe, said everything was good to go.
Yeah, you saw that letter?
It was emailed to us.
Okay. All right, if Alan Major said so. Josh, you have anything outstanding or everything's good?
I would just remind the board that at the last hearing, you guys decided to issue a temporary CO for the curb and the dumpster to be completed. You gave them a timeline, I think it was to come back in June with an update, if nothing had been accomplished, but here they are telling you they accomplished everything.
All right, very well. All right, that being said, you want to add anything, or you good?
Nope, that's all. The work is completed. We actually applied this week for an extension to the temporary, just in case.
Yeah.
But we are here requesting the permanent.
Okay, that being said, how's the board feel about it? You guys good?
I'm good.
I saw the progress when I rode by there. I didn't see a letter, though, from Allen and Majors. But
There wasn't, I thought there was one.
It was
sent.
emailed.
It was emailed.
I didn't see it, but if Richard said he said it, it's fine.
All he did was close it.
Do you know if there's a letter from Alan Major?
I'm not sure, but I would probably contest that you don't need one. It was just for the widening of the curb, which
I
is
don't- we don't really
appropriately
need
done.
I don't think we need one. Do you guys need one?
I'm
It's
good
just
with
the
the
curb
permit.
and the enclosures, right? Just the curb and the dumpster enclosure.
That is correct.
Yeah. I'm okay with that. So that being said, can we get a motion to grant?
So moved.
A motion to grant by Mr. Sample. Do you have a second?
Second.
By Troy. All in favor, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
And myself, Nazi, aye. It carries. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much.
Okay, we'll move forward with the carnival. Continue public hearing, 26-15 Hidden Trails, Lot 1 to 56 for a variance. Just give us 2 seconds.
Is, I was wondering if there's any board members on Zoom. I know that
She's not here.
oh, she's not here.
She said she won't be able to.
Okay.
Let's wait for Carla. Just give her 5 minutes. Carla.
Here you go.
All right, go.
So we have, I didn't put Connor's name here. Absent.
There you go to the bathroom. He must have, right?
Where'd Connor go? I don't know.
In the bathroom.
Who's gonna work this? Is Connor gonna work this?
Yeah, Richard's gonna recuse himself.
Richard's gonna sit out on this one? For the, I can see, for what it's worth, I can see how it happened, and I can see Richard's point. Richard didn't say, surrendering my seat. He just said, I need to go to the bathroom, can you wait? And while he was gone, there was business done, so I get.
Yeah, but that was for tabling the matter.
Yeah,
Open.
it was just like the 6 PM at the top of the page here. It was done without malice.
I have personal reasons.
All right, very well. Now that we're back, okay, public hearing's still open. I need name and address.
Peter Titlebaum, I'm the project attorney, 30 Oak Street, Wareham, Mass.
Okay,
Good evening, Brad Bertolo with JC Engineering,
all right. You're not the owner, right? You're representing the owner.
representing the owner.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you stand up, just take the oath, because just in case this matter go further.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do.
Okay, thank you. Have a seat. All right, now that's being said, on this matter, Mr. Alden will be sitting in Mr. Sample's seat. I'm going back, and Mr. Akibachi signed pursuant to Mass General Law, Section 39, Section 23, Section 23, participation on a session. He missed a few minutes. He watched the tape, and he certifies that he did. Also, myself, I had, like I said before, I had business engagement with Mr. Churchill about 9 years ago. I had filed with the town clerk a disclosure, and pursuant to Mass Conflict Interest Law, Mass General Law, Section 268, now A as an alpha, and I submitted it to the town clerk. Based on this matter, the state of Massachusetts will allow me to sit in this case. If anyone agrees with this decision, they have the right to appeal this matter after it's under Section 17 on Mass General Law, Section 40A, after the decision is filed with the town clerk, within 20 days after it's filed, if you agree with that decision. So that being said, we'll proceed.
So let's be clear, who's,
Connor, Troy, yourself, Chris, myself.
okay.
All right? Very well, it's yours.
I think we had pretty much wrapped up our presentation the last time. We talked about the fact that the town was the one that effectively created the hardship by changing the underlying zoning that the cluster development subdivision bylaw was pinned upon, which, again, back in 2004, which was the latest adjustments, if you will, to the cluster development bylaw. It said it's based upon the underlying zoning, but the town just had the one set of setbacks for all zoning districts. So when the town, within 2 years, went ahead and changed the setbacks to be more aligned with the lot sizes, the different lot sizes in town. You know, for example, you got to be 100 feet back in the R130, the 3-acre zoning, you got to be 60 feet back, which is what we're looking at in the R60. They just didn't go back and adjust the cluster development bylaw to encourage, to keep that the way it was intended originally. So we talked about the town creating the hardship, we talked about the safety for children, if they have to play in a front yard because the house is set so far back on the lot that there's no room to kick the soccer ball around in the backyard, and how that exposes them to traffic that's going by, and also, you know, I hate to say, but in this age, you know, perverts who might be passing by. So we raise that as a potential safety issue. You'll hear from, I think you'll hear from somebody who has a different opinion on the merits of the safety issue, but I will say that there are cases out there that talk about safety in conjunction with the shape of a lot size, things like that, that have upheld variances that were granted. So I think you're on reasonable ground here to grant the variance.
All right. On a hardship, do you think the size of the lot will impose a hardship of the size of the house? So if you impose, can you demonstrate, because now the size of the lot, how does it impose a hardship if you build a house between the setbacks? You end up with what kind of house, like 300 square feet, 500 square?
Well, we actually, at the last meeting, John had some information that we handed out. We've got it back here again.
We had posted a representative, if I can pass it out.
Yeah, sure.
And the other thing, Mr. Chair, is that this impacts the placement of any accessory buildings.
Yeah.
Because we know in this town that there is not exactly a preference for having your garage at the front of the lot and the house at the back of the lot. Visually, that's not what people really want to see. They don't want to drive around looking at garages, they want to look at houses first off. So it impacts the placement of garages, sheds, and things of that nature as well, pools, and all of that. You know, you want to have your pool party in the front yard for everybody to see, or do you want to have it in the back?
Yeah, so this sketch that was passed out is just a sample showing a minimum lot size allowed in section Article 8, Article 6, Article 8, excuse me, for cluster, where the current definition, current regulations state that the bylaw setbacks apply for these cluster lots. That is in direct conflict with the definition of cluster development under the definitions at the end in Article 16, which states a division of land into lots for use as residential building sites, blah, 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 having area and yard requirements less than the minimum required in the table of dimensional and density regulations. So there's a conflict between what setbacks should be stated between the definition and under Article Section 810.
Okay. Now, you in the R60 over there, right?
That's correct.
So that white box would shows that if you go by the existing zoning, if you use the setback, that's
Yes.
required.
Yeah, that would be the area where
You
your
could build a house.
structures could build.
And that would not include the steps, anything, front porch or nothing. And how wide would that white box would be, you'd say?
On a 100-foot lot, it requires 20-foot side setback, so 20 on each side.
No, I'm saying that white box.
Yeah, the white box would
What
be-
size would be that house?
That's 60 by 20, 60 by 20.
So it'd be an outside, that's without steps, if you want to add
That's
steps.
just, yeah, yep.
Okay, and no sheds apparently and nothing. Okay. Alden, do you have a question on this matter?
Not right now.
Troy?
No, I don't.
Jimmy?
I don't know if it's a question or a comment, but I'm looking at the sketch. My comment is that Wareham allows cluster development. I will say, just as our agenda tonight had an error that had announced us being here at 6 o'clock when we always open at 6:30, our bylaws are cluttered with errors. And this is one of them. This is an obvious error. It's as plain and as simple as that to me, perhaps not to others. Without waxing redundantly, this cluster development would not be possible without a variance because it's just not feasible to put a house and abide by the setbacks if you read the bylaw literally. I think if you read the bylaw and apply a little, just a minuscule amount of common sense and logic, you'll realize that there's a Scrivener's error, that there was parts of the bylaw that weren't addressed when changes were made. The way the bylaw is written and references, you can be in chapter 3 and be referencing chapters 9, 12, and 14, and it gets very confusing. Something was overlooked. So again, I'm trying not to be too long-winded, but my point is, as a board and to the community, we need to focus on what's in front of us. What's in front of us is a request for a variance, and the variance would allow cluster development, which is an allowed use in this area of town, and the variance that have been requested to provide would be to make the lots more pleasant, more aesthetically pleasing, for which I'm in favor of. After that, I have nothing further to say on this matter.
Chris?
So, I'm just trying to understand, this subdivision or cluster was approved in, was it 2024?
24.
Yes.
And in 2024, the setbacks were different when this was approved?
No, they were the same, but during the planning board hearings, we did tell them that we were involved in two-stop shopping for this project, that, you know, they were there to lay out the lots and approve our subdivision plan, approve our open space, and that sort of thing, but that before any construction would happen, that we would be coming to you seeking the variances. So it was known at the time we applied to the planning board that we would have to seek relief from this board as well. The change that made this request necessary happened back in 2006, believe it or not. I think there was one other cluster subdivision that came up and needed some setback relief in between that time, 2006, and now. And that was one up off of Charge Pond Road, and the applicant did come in and get setbacks because I think they were in the R130, which would have put the houses 100 feet back on smaller lots, which also made no sense. So there's precedent for the board doing this, but it happens quite rarely, which I think is also in keeping with the Zoning Act. I mean, you can't just be handing out variances left and right for every little thing that comes along. Some things just can't be done. But in this instance, it's a rare situation to even have a cluster development get approved by the town, let alone applied for. And so I think it's different and strange enough that you have a decent basis for granting this.
So I just think it's strange, why wasn't this addressed when this cluster development was approved?
It was, if I may, the planning board they won't have to address it. So it's the burden on them to come to zoning. They just put the lot line and you're on your own. Let me just make it brief. I did a cluster myself, a couple of them back in the day. And back in the days, it used to be, before you go to planning board, you go to zoning, get the cluster approval, and get whatever variances you need. Somehow in 2003, it changed. You go to planning, then come back to zoning. And in 2006, the planning board put something in the warrant around 2006. They changed the setbacks. On Charge Pond Road, for an R130, they made it 100 feet, 50, 50, and I think 30. And they changed the R60. So they changed this, but no one took in consideration if a cluster comes in. which is now, I guess, Josh, and last time we discussed that we're gonna put it in next warrant to change these things when they come in. So if there's a case like this in the future, they don't have to come before us.
I'm still kind of confused because I would have thought, you know, back then when they were laying all this out, that then if they have a 60-foot setback, then maybe they would have made these lots bigger to accommodate the setbacks.
You can, but sometimes, my personal opinion, the planning board will be looking for more open space. They'll be looking for less road, less frontage for future. When the town takes the road, they want to plow less, they want to salt less, because it becomes public, so for maintenance less. And I would assume the planning board wanted smaller lots, so they have more open space. I'm assuming, we could ask the attorney.
Well, yes, the cluster development bylaw requires you to set aside at least 50%. We've done approximately 75% with this project, so we've gone 50% beyond what the required open space allocation is. And the reason we're here is the planning board can't give us variances on setbacks. That's
I know that.
the sole reason. So that's, but, you know, again, the intent of the bylaw in 2004 says one thing, the practical effect of the changes subsequent have driven us to you.
Let me add something. I think I know what Chris is thinking. When you do a cluster, you have to demonstrate first that with 60,000 square feet, you could get, I think he has 54 lots. So you can't just make the lots smaller, get more lots. So what he did before he went to planning, I'm sure, he made plans with 60,000 square feet and demonstrated that, look, with 60,000, I could do 54 lots. Now, I want the cluster. So you can't, with conventional subdivision, get 60 and then come to cluster, get 100. It doesn't work that way. You get exactly what you get with conventional subdivision.
So basically, they're asking for 56 variances, if there's 56
Well,
lots.
it will be a blanket variance, correct? It will be a blanket variance for the whole project.
But, so if this variance isn't given by right, they can build their cluster development according to what our setbacks are.
They could build the R60 the way it used, with the R60,000. Apparently, if we don't give them variance, they can build it. As you see in this demonstration here, the house would be 20 feet wide. It's a real hardship for the law, not, I disagree with aesthetics. I would think it's a hardship for the size of the lot, for the size of the house on the lot to be 20 feet wide by 60 feet long. So it would be a hardship for the house and the lot itself, I would say.
So,
Let him finish.
They could build to the variance we grant. If we grant a 2-inch variance for the frontage, they can build 2 inches from the road. If we grant a variance for 300 feet from the road, they can't put a house closer than 300 feet from the, they can build to the variance we grant. If we grant no variances, they can't build this subdivision.
so in his sketch here, he has each lot size is about 10,000 square feet.
Right.
I see it looks like the average lot here is like there's 17,000, there's 17,000. I don't see any 10,000 square foot lots,
Well,
according to what
so,
they're showing here.
okay. On the side, what's the side setback right now? 20?
20 feet, yes.
And what's the width of each lot, maximum?
I think we put them all around 105 feet, plus or minus. Some are
Well,
wider.
I'm assuming in the width, if you put a house at 36 feet with a car garage 24 and 36, you're at 50 feet,
60, yeah.
60 feet, and 20 and 20, 40. So you just right on the, you can't be any smaller than this. So you requesting a 20 side back or 10?
We're requesting
20,
the
10, and 10.
setbacks that were applicable when the zoning in this
20, 10,
cluster
10.
development was created, which was 20, every development, every zoning district had a
20, 10,
20-foot
10.
front, 10 side and rear.
Okay.
again,
2 years?
we didn't propose 10,000 square foot lots on this. We know the setbacks for 60 feet. The planning board, at least one member, preferred that we went through this method, and it's something that we would prefer too, to allow for more flexibility in house locations on these lots. We couldn't, as, you know, we're not going to propose a development that we can't fit
Right.
a house or a conventional house that, you know, you typically see today.
Chris, and just speaking to that diagram, that was something that I had JC Engineering put together to show what the extreme would be. Under the cluster subdivision, you can actually have lots as small as 10,000 square feet. So what I was trying to depict with that illustration is that this is the effect that the setbacks as they currently sit would have on a cluster subdivision that was built out at, I think the cluster subdivisions are a minimum of 5 acres.
10 acres, I believe.
Thank you, 10 acres. So when I brought this before the planning board and we were actually gonna take it to town meeting, the discussion was mostly positive. Mr. Schultz of the planning board had some concerns about what it may do to the effect of, you know, building a very large house on a very small lot. But we didn't have enough time through the public hearing process to explain that a lot of that stuff is regulated by the FAR, building coverage of the lot. So some of his concerns were maybe a little misled to the fact that we didn't have time to really address them before town meeting. So just prior to town meeting, this was one of the articles we decided to pull just because we didn't have enough time to really get into the weeds on it. It is the full intent of the planning department to bring something like this back to town meeting in the fall, because the way that our cluster subdivisions sit now is a broken article of the bylaw.
And I did see some other letters against this project, against the variances that I'd like to make sure that we.
Yeah,
all
we'll read them
and
into
that
the
they're in-
records.
in
Do
the-
they have a
in the
name and signature?
Well, one was from Harju Street. It was from an email, so that I don't see any signature.
Is that a person, a name?
I don't know. if
We'll
it's-
get
I
to
think
the
it's a group.
public and we'll ask who did, if they have to put their name and sign it.
I don't have any more questions, thank you.
All right, very well. Before we go to public, you guys want to add, before we go, like, what's your thoughts? That they could meet setbacks on the lots? This is your thoughts, Chris?
Well, my thought was if the variances aren't given, that the subdivision could still continue with current zoning bylaw setbacks.
No, if,
what I was
that,
asking.
it can continue without the zoning, but the houses will be narrow, like, will be not reasonable, 20 feet wide. It will be like a trailer. So they don't need the variance to build the subdivision. You
Right,
understand?
that's basically what I was asking.
Right, they can build it, but the houses will be like trailers, narrow, and smaller lots, and bigger lots might be a little wider. So it's just odd, but the problem when you build, like, let's say you have a lot, 10,000 here and 17,000, so one lot, the house would be 60, the other lot, they have to put it back 100, so it'll be odd. That's my assumption, you know, you just want to try to be uniform or some sort of.
It gives more flexibility in future use of the lot.
Right.
You know, as designed today, yes, the houses would be set back further on the property, limiting the backyards. Most people may like an accessory structure, a shed for their lawn equipment. That again would also be restricted, so.
Right, now
It
keep in
just-
mind, you're right, keep in mind, now everybody wants to put a shed. We're gonna have 54 variances because there's no way you could fit a shed,
I get it.
you know? So that's where we are. We'll go back and discuss among us. Go ahead.
I just feel that, just with Chris's asking, there's 100 by 100 lots. There's no 100 by 100 lots on the proposal. I believe this is misleading. There should be something on here. That's in the size of the smallest lot here. Because this drawn up 100 by 100, there isn't one. So it's making the house look small, but it's not actually, because if you put it on one of the lots, the smallest lot there, you're not getting a
What's
60
the
by 20.
smallest lot there?
It's like 13,000 square feet.
13,000, and what's the width now, 100?
It's 100 by, I think, 105 by 125, I believe.
130?
And to your point, in the northeast corner, there are 3 larger lots that are in excess of, I think, 60,000 square each. And those are designed for Mr. Churchill's children and his stepdaughter as the intended occupants of those properties. So those lots would be bigger. Those lots, you could build there, and, for example, and probably not to worry about the existing setbacks too much because they're big enough to take the depth, if you will, off of the roadway. But the smaller lots, 13,000 square feet, 60 feet back on, 125 feet? Now, it's going to be so disproportionate to how you see all of the other developments in town, how houses have been placed on lots. It's going to look like, it would look almost like to your point, it would make the houses look like trailers. It would look like a mobile home.
Right. Not to
development, in a
mention, if you
sense.
put a ranch, any ranch with the 2-car garage, gotta be 70 feet by, with the garage, I've done them many times with at least 40 feet where the garage is. So how are you gonna be able to fit it even in 13,000? If you don't there's no way you're gonna be able to meet the 60 feet.
No, this definitely restricted to, a small footprint house. So, ranches, yeah, maybe will be fine on the larger lots that the property owner would like to keep for himself. But, on the smaller house lots, no. So it limits the availability of different house designs. Placing the house close to the street may be more consistent with your cluster lot. It may have the unintended consequence of, hey, maybe we'll keep this traffic a little slower because these houses are right up closer to the street versus, wide setbacks and, So we're trying to keep, it's a cluster, small development. And yes, the lots are 13,000 and greater, so we knew what the zoning setbacks are. We knew that. We can still build this. We're moving forward with what we feel would be better suited for this, at the recommendation of at least one planning board member, and kind of correct a situation in this bylaw where the definition of cluster development in the bylaw does not agree with the regulations in section 810.
Josh, is this gonna go on a warrant next town meeting to change it anyway?
For the fall, it is.
For the fall?
And I'm not trying to make an argument here, but when I look at other towns who have, normally they are referred to as OSRD or open space residential districts. When I look at other communities, and I'll try to just pick out a few that are similar to maybe us in some way. Dartmouth has reduced front setback of 30 feet, side and rear of 10. Natick, who is, I'll say, mostly developed but still has some big areas, they have a 30 front set with a 12-foot side and a 25-foot rear. And what I'm seeing from a lot of these other communities is they actually give the planning board the ability to set the dimensional setbacks of the cluster subdivision, which clearly we have not. And it's just that the fact that we're outdated and we haven't seen many of these. This is arguably the second one that we've really run into contention with. You really don't learn anything from two.
Yeah, you're right, second for a variance.
Yeah.
So if this cluster was in the R30,
You wouldn't have problem.
it would be the setbacks that what they're asking for.
No, it's already 20-10-10. and
Yes,
Yeah,
applicable
am I correct?
setbacks would be 20-10-10.
right.
Correct.
We're not requesting anything less than what,
If it was an R130, you can't put a house, period. It won't just fit, you can't even put it there.
And my thoughts, Wareham is Wareham, everywhere else is everywhere else.
That's true.
I mean, I hear in our budget meetings, well, Bourne does this, Bourne does that. Well, Bourne is not Wareham.
Correct.
And Wareham is not Bourne.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a
Just an
problem when
example,
somebody
yeah.
says, we're gonna look at this town, it's not Wareham.
Maybe we should be comparing ourselves to Needham.
It's Wareham.
Anyway, we're gonna, Jim, you wanted to ask?
Yeah, one question. You're looking for 2010-10. If the board said, well, look, we're going to grant you some variances, but we're going to hold you to 30-10-10 or 40-10-10, would it help, or would it still be as big a problem as you have right now?
No, any relief on that setback would help out. We were just trying to be consistent with.
I
what
get
the-
it,
Yep.
and it makes sense, 2010-10 makes
Yep.
sense when you compare it to an R30 zone. I'm kind of good with that, but I'm also hearing a little bit of maybe some resistance, and I'm just wondering if I might throw out a question that could seed a compromise.
Yeah, I think 40 will look good. 40, 10, 10, that sounds good. For me, anyway. But anyway,
That was all, that was my
we will
question.
get back to this. Let's move to the public. Anyone here in favor of this project? In favor? Anyone online in favor? I hear none. Anyone against this project? Yes, want to come forward? Whoever wishes first. Just grab a mic. Okay, sure. You could share a mic.
Are you a team? Okay, because there's another mic over here, that's all.
Do you want
You
to
could
share?
share.
You're good.
I'm Matt Beaton from 27 Foster Road in Sandwich, Massachusetts.
Jamie Hochter, Sandwich, Mass. I'm attorney for Eagle Holt.
Okay.
Yep, so my family owns the Eagle Holt property, which abuts this. And just here opposing this whole thing for many reasons. One, this wasn't originally a 44-lot subdivision. It was Sarah John and Mr. Churchill that chose to make it a 56-lot subdivision. So these bylaws were in place for a long time, and quite frankly, if people don't agree with them, why haven't they been changed in 22 years? I've heard people say that this will be addressed at the fall meeting, so that's the forum for it, in my opinion, because quite frankly, if you look at the planning board sessions, the term affordable housing kept coming up, and now we seem to want to increase the setbacks to make bigger houses. So there's a little bit of a conflict of interest to me. I think what the ZBA should understand is a land court judge put a Liz Pendens on this entire project that Eagle Holt has on it. This will be in land court for years once we exhaust the appeals process. So I really am confused as why the sense of urgency to do this, because quite frankly, we have sand rights on some of these parcels. They have denied us access to a water easement we have at the Whitehead's Pond there. They actually took over one of our gates and put their own lock on it, so only they could have access to this property from Squirrel Island Road, and we have video proof of that, and they've also widened Squirrel Island Road to try to get emergency vehicles and access into that. So there's been a lot of very shady things that have been done here, and I think if you read the comments from the email that was sent, you'll find that too. So, you know, to me, the right forum for this, if a cluster development, if a cluster setback needs to be changed, it's in the town meeting, and it sounds like this is going to come up in the fall. So I would request the committee to consider that, because quite frankly, to me, this project was done, it used to be a 44-acre subdivision, now all of a sudden it's 56 acres. It's about greed. Smaller driveways, less money, more profit for the builder and the landowner. So to me, we vehemently oppose this project and would ask the committee to let the town meeting handle this issue moving forward.
Okay, Counselor?
Thank you. My only add would be that size, my understanding is size is not a shape factor that's considered when granting a variance.
Correct.
So I'm still waiting to hear how lot shape, topography, soil conditions is a factor here. My second point would just be if you would consider, and thinking about, I looked at the zoning map and where this subdivision falls in this zone, which is a pretty rural area.
Correct.
There's water protection issues and the like. If I live in this neighborhood, it makes perfect sense to me that the underlying zoning applies, because if you're going to put a more dense cluster subdivision in a rural area, to make it fit in as well as possible, it makes sense you'd want the frontage and the side setbacks to apply, to me. The other thing is, it just, it does make the houses smaller, but it doesn't make it unbuildable, and it's been known for 20-something years that this was going to be what applies. So from the beginning of the project, I guess I'm confused why it's suddenly a hardship.
I understand your argument about the hardship, but I disagree. Mr. Beaton, I'm glad he briefed us what's going on, but unfortunately, we're not the police, we're not the court to why they widened the road, why they put a lock. We're not the planning board. The planning board granted them, it was 44 acre, now it's 54. That has nothing to do with us. We pretty much, I'm sure the councilor could advise you on this. What's before us, just a variance for the setback. We thank you for briefing us what's happening. I read that letter, so I'm assuming you emailed that letter?
My colleague, Attorney Julie Barry, is actually on the Zoom if she wants, if she can also add while we're here.
So as long as we all, I'm sure councilor agree, we're here on one thing, one issue is the variance. 50 lots, 10 lots, this is not our jurisdiction, They widen the road, they cut the trees, approach the wetland. Unfortunately, it's not our jurisdiction either. But
Well, thank you, but the hardship is stated.
We still,
There has to be a hardship request. I failed to see that.
we will get through it, and with the board, if it fits, if they don't see it fits, they don't grant it. Simple as this. So you would like us to listen to attorney? Okay. Julie, Councilor Barry?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, hi, good evening, Mr. Chair and members of the board. I'm Julie Barry. I'm one of the attorneys representing Eagle Holt, and as Mr. Beaton described, we are presently in litigation with Sarah John over this project because of the implications for our rights. We are not here before this board asking you to decide those. You don't have any authority to do that, and we wouldn't ask you to do that. What we're here about is the fact that they're seeking variances, which is not a special permit. And as you all know, it's actually relief from the zoning bylaw. It means that the zoning bylaw doesn't apply to this project, even though they've known since 2004 and had these discussions with the planning board. And apparently one member made some mention about the front yards needing to be farther back for whatever reason, whether it's suspected pedophiles or some of the other things we're hearing today. But that's not, and what we heard last at the first hearing. But that's not what this is about. This is opposition to variances that they have not demonstrated at all that they are entitled to. The State Zoning Act, Section 10, provides that it's soil, shape, or topography that makes the lots different in kind from those in the same district. Well, that can hardly be the case here. They've created the hardship they're complaining about. So we don't think that they've proven there's a hardship. Ms. Hochter was right that size is not a basis for it, and you can't complain about where the lots of houses land on the lots if that's how you drew them. And we've heard that this was something that was always intended, but it somehow managed to be the first time that we're hearing this. So if there's an article for the town warrant, that's where it should be handled. Whether the setbacks here should apply based on previous zoning and the history that we heard from Attorney Teitelbaum is not a question for this board. This board's jurisdiction extends to granting zoning relief, including relief from zoning in the form of variances if certain elements are proven. And there hasn't been a single element proven here, except that it's going to be harder to develop 56 lots on this property than it is to develop 44. But it can be done because 3 of the lots are being held back for his family and they're bigger. So there can be bigger lots designed here. The question is, they don't want to design bigger lots. They want to design more lots, and they're here before you, asking you to make an exception to the town zoning bylaws, which the voters vote on and haven't changed yet, asking you to find that they have met a basis for accepting it. And we've heard a lot about open space. All of these things have an intended threat underneath them. I'm not sure why the engineer was sworn in before he spoke tonight. Nobody else was sworn in before they spoke. But the threat is that we don't have to do this. We're doing you a favor by leaving all this open space while leaving out that there's a 30-acre pond as part of that, and that they're not leaving open space sufficient to protect Eagle Holt's property rights that lie within this very project area as determined by a land court judge. So we ask respectfully that the board deny this request because they haven't provided any evidence, let alone substantial evidence, that they meet the requirements, conjunctive requirements for a variance. It's not just hardship, it's that there's some basis for it, and they don't meet that here. And we would ask respectfully that you deny their request.
Thank you, Councillor. Just for clarification, the reason I had Mr. Botello sworn in because he's not an owner, apparently an attorney, you can't have him sworn in. Under a recommendation of town council, if we feel somehow these things go into court, he preferred that we swear in any witness, any technical witness. The owner cannot be sworn in because apparently he's gonna speak on his own favor. But Mr. Botello, his technical support, he has to be sworn in.
I appreciate the explanation, Mr. Chair. It's helpful and it certainly goes some way to explaining it. I would like to also suggest that the other reason that, well, I'll leave it at that for now. If I have another reason, I'll ask to speak again. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Council. Another thing, you're saying they get more lots in cluster. Back to differ, I don't think the planning board, especially this particular planning board, will grant you more lots. I am sure they demonstrated they could get 54 lots at 60,000 with the diameter circle with diameter at least I think 120 feet, correct, for 60?
Let me just clarify that
just this question, 120 for the diameter for the circle?
180.
180. I'm sure they demonstrated the frontage for 60,000 square feet lots with the diameter of upland, 180 feet upland on each lot. I'm sure they demonstrated and they were able to get 54 lots, and that's why they came for cluster. If you see there's discrepancy or the planning board did anything wrong, I guess you're gonna have to appeal the planning board decision on this matter. Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
One point I would make is that, my sister talked about a Liz pendants being placed on the property. That's just a notice. That's not an injunction. We can go ahead and build all of these things. No injunction has been sought to stop the property. There's litigation. There's a notice that there is litigation in the Plymouth County Registry of Deeds, and this is so that any potential purchaser of a lot knows that potentially there's some issues with what they can do with it, depending on what the court rules. But that doesn't preclude my client from selling the lots. He obviously has to go back to the planning board and get lot releases as he goes forward with that process, but there's no injunction currently preventing him from selling the lots. I would also...
Again, I hate to interrupt you, but
it's not really relevant to what you're doing here. But I'm just,
yeah. And most of us wouldn't even understand it. So, not our problem, not our jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Let's stick with the variance.
To the
Point of order, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
if I may, I believe I heard you say that if we have a problem with this, we need to go to the planning board. I want to be clear on the record that your board is planning on issuing a decision on this variance application, correct?
No, you misunderstand me, Counselor. I said if you had an issue with you claiming that they get 54 lots, well, in this conventional subdivision, they could have gotten 44. If you had an issue with this, this is not the place to fight it. That's the planning board. You should appeal the planning board decision. That's what I said.
I don't need to do that, though, with all due respect. I can appeal this decision. It's the issue is that they came to you looking for a variance. The
That's a
planning board
separate
didn't
matter.
have
I
the authority.
understand, Counselor. I
Okay.
understand what you're saying.
As long as you know.
Yeah, I know. I've been around the block. I know. Who wanted to speak? Yes.
Just to the point about, whether we qualify under the zoning act for the hardship, the land conditions that constitute hardship. Certainly size, as you've been told, is not something that the board can particularly consider on its own. But what you can consider is the depth of the lots, and that directly relates to the shape of the lots. And it's the whole reason we're seeking this relief, is that the depth of the lots, as of right, currently does not meet the goals of the cluster subdivision development bylaw, as Mr. Bartolo read from the definitions. It's in direct conflict with how a cluster subdivision development is even defined. So I think you've got a basis here for doing this. And again, this was done by this board before. It's not an unprecedented action that we're seeking here. It's not an unprecedented type of variance that we're seeking here. I don't know if anybody challenged that prior decision or not, so I can't speak to whether that was, something that was upheld by a court. I don't think it was appealed. If this is appealed and, they want to go in and tell the judge that you shouldn't have granted it and that we didn't have a hardship and that, considerations about children playing in the front yard and strange people driving by are irrelevant, that they're certainly welcome to do so.
Well, I do agree with the Councilor Barry. People speeding or whatever you said, pedophiles or whatever, it's not a base of a variance. However, I do agree with you, Councilor Teitelbaum, that the shape is a base of a hardship. We will discuss further, but I want to go to the public. Ma'am, in the back, please. You done? Thank you, Councilor. Mr. Beaton, thank you.
What's the,
Have a seat.
which article that tells you what your requirements are for a variance?
6.
It's a state law.
It's right on it.
It's a state law.
There's a chapter.
No, it's a state
It's right
law.
on the,
for variance. General.
General
Yes,
laws, chapter 4010, 40A.
48,
yeah,
section
It's
10.
not in our bylaw?
Article 15.
No, this is state law that sets the parameters for granting variances.
I thought there was something in 15.
1554.
There is in here.
Thank you.
Okay, that may give, that may,
That's what he's talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
Sorry,
that shoehorns the state law into the zoning bylaw, but you're still bound by, of course, the state law provisions.
thank you. Ma'am, your name and address.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Annie Hayes, Farmers Lane.
Yes.
And I would concur with the last two speakers. I think the place for this is to be an open public discussion at a town meeting, because it seems that the bylaw that has not been changed has a lot of conversation about what a cluster development is for, does, the definition of hardship, et cetera. So that's one point. Another is that hardship was previously pointed to be a greater value of trees in the back, be able to conserve more trees. And I was at the initial meeting when the whole plan seemed to be clear-cutting, because the lots were so small that they could not have trees on the sides, or I'm not sure, even in the front, because of the distance that a 30-foot tree had only to fall onto the roof, and the insurance company would have an issue. So it seemed to be a recommendation by the developer that it would be the best process to clear cut. And what my point was is you created the lots. You created the small lots. You could have created lots that would have kept a lot more of the environment if the point is to be open space. Another point is that when I look at the rendition of the placement of the houses, I have been concerned from the get-go and spoke to the DEP, wrote to the DEP, spoke at a meeting about how the natural animal corridor that prevents or that allows animals to thrive where there's a development, especially one that was such a fabulous habitat for, I don't know, time immemorial, I'm not sure. And now is going to have about 200 people, 100 cars. It's an HOA. The developers said that if they wanted the little, you know, the ATVs, they could have them in the plan. The animal corridor is blocked by those 3 larger lots. So what happens when the animals can't get through, and there are a lot more vectors than deer now of Lyme's disease, they're a lot less healthy. There's an epidemic of Lyme's disease, and the ticks this year are crazy. So when you block the animal corridor, you're going to be also compressing animals that are going to wander into the neighborhood, and they're not going to be that healthy because they're getting slaughtered in Wareham, frankly, with all the land development. I think I had one more point. As a voter, I want to be at the discussion at town meeting. I want people to really take a look at cluster development, open space. When you block animals and their habitat, this is their water source. I don't think it's really intended for deer or animals to come and drink from there because it's been blocked off. So I think all of these points, and one thing that I said to the DEP is if a developer really wants to have open space, they start with the topography looking at the animal corridors. They don't forget about them. So these lots could have been much larger, they could have been fewer, but it's like reverse planning now. They did this, it got passed, and now they want to change it and do it by variance, and the whole thing of a cluster development and the bylaw is going to be bypassed, and one of the reasons was that Mr. Churchill said that this would be a good prototype for what it should be. Well, that's backwards. The community has the right to discuss bylaws in this town and vote on them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. No comments? Anyone else would like to speak?
Mr. Chair, I have one more online. Want somebody online?
All right, go ahead. Who's online? Yes, Mr. Denise.
I'm Jim Manette, Berry Highway. It's interesting listening to this, and if I'm correct, the number of units to be put in a cluster development, the maximum number, it's a maximum number, is what you could do without a cluster development, right? Am I correct or incorrect?
Incorrect.
I'm incorrect?
No, he's correct.
What did he say?
He said you have to prove the number that
Right,
could
yes,
eventually
you're
be-
correct. You
and-
prove
Yeah.
what you could do conventional, I'm sorry, Jim. You
Maximum.
prove what you could do,
Maximum number.
maximum you could do cluster the
But
same.
you don't have to do a maximum
No,
number,
you
correct?
don't. No, I'm sorry,
So-
my bad.
No, that's okay. So I see this as a self-imposed request for the variance as far as a lot shape factor. You could have done a few less, or when you engineered it, you could have made them a little bit bigger, as people are saying, and had the proper distances and setbacks fit the lots, and still get a density increase for a cluster. So I think it's self-imposed hardship. That's about all I have to say, and thank you.
Thank you. Well, it's everybody how they see it, but the way I see it, you can't have the pie and eat it. Specifically, Mrs. Hayes, she was here. I know she likes the environment and the trees and the water. And if I am Mrs. Hayes, right, Mrs. Hayes, she was here? If I'm Mrs. Hayes, I'll be supporting cluster development because you preserve a lot of open space. But that's my opinion. And I think cluster development is a win-win for everyone. That's beside the statute requirement, the statutory requirement for a variance. I'm just saying in general, cluster development are good. It's better for the town, better for open space, better for everything, for maintenance, for impact, for everything. But that's my opinion. That being said, yeah, Chris, you want to say something?
Nope, I'm all set.
So we're gonna go back to the hardship. I'm convinced with the shape of the lot on your statute, on the statute requirement. Can you iterate more on more of this, or anyone on the board wanna discuss further?
Does size have anything to do with shape?
No, size has no, it's not a hardship, size of the lot.
Topography can be a hardship, shape can be a hardship. It's very limited in Chapter 48, Section 10, to what a hardship is. It can only fall into like 3 different silos.
Soil, topography, and shape.
Yeah.
Soil, topo, and shape. This is what the
So
statute.
we don't have a soil hardship. We don't have a topography hardship. You know, we're not dealing with, huge hills or anything like that. But the shape is what we're stating creates the hardship, with the result being something that the cluster development bylaw did not intend.
You only need one reason of the three. You don't have to meet all.
No,
three.
any one of those, I get it. It's topography, soil conditions, or shape.
But they defined the shape.
What?
They defined the shape when they created this.
Well, you
This
could
development,
also,
so-
well, the planning board, yeah, I mean, you could argue it all day. You're right. You're
That's-
not right. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody sees it different.
I'm reading it and rereading it, and a variance may be granted, da, da, da. It's determined that the soil conditions we've discussed, lot shape, or topography create an impracticality or limit the location or positioning of a new structure, and then it goes on from there. So we're talking about the positioning of a new structure, where the impracticality or limitations of the location. So I guess the shape in that instance, to me, it's related to the size of the lot. I get Mr. Maniz's point about that the lots could have been made a little bit bigger. I don't know. I haven't sat down with the map and tried to say, how much bigger could you get? And I'm,
Well,
Right? Yes, go ahead.
to that point, yeah, the lots could have been bigger. And one of the things you do when you file for an application with the planning board for a cluster development subdivision is, as has been discussed tonight, you have to file what you could do as of right with the existing zoning. And so we did file one of those plans. It was for 56 lots. That's the amount of lots in this subdivision. And if you look at some of the documentation you have, you'll see that the lots that we have now start and stay pretty much on the northern portion of the property with the cluster, with the 56 lots that we've laid out in the current plan. If you look at the as-of-right plan that we had to file with the planning board, those lots curl all the way around to the eastern side of the property and go down as, I believe, even below the pond towards the southerly terminus of it. So as of right, I don't, how much land would have been preserved? Not anywhere near as much as we're preserving now. So if we're talking about preserving trees, are we saying that we should stick with R60 because you might have a few more trees on the lot, but now your lots are going to encompass half of the acreage? And we have it down to about 25% of the acreage.
Well, again.
So it's the trade-offs.
This is not what before us, again.
Right.
Well,
that's all, that was all discussed at planning, wasn't it?
that's planning. yeah.
All we're doing is variance.
Right.
That's all we're should be talking about is variance.
Yep.
Well, the way I say it, I know there's a case law, there's a day in court apparently. If the board decide not to grant the variance, you have an option to wait for the town meeting. Hopefully this will pass. I think it will pass because it's no brainer. If we go for a variance, apparently they get 2 attorneys and case is going, get ready to go to court. So either way, it's going to be a fight. We would have liked to see it go smoothly, but apparently there's problems between the developer and the neighbors or previous owners, I don't know. But that being said, I think, do you guys want to continue this matter, or you want to close? What do you want to do? Do you want to think about it? I would say we should continue and think about it. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Think about it, maybe read more about the statutory requirement, about a shape, ask town council, I don't know. Yeah,
Somebody-
come forward, sure. Listen. So it's something to think about until we listen to Mr. Bean. Just again, your name for the record.
Matt Beaton,
Yeah.
27 Foster Road, East Sandwich, Massachusetts. There's a little confusion here. I am a proponent of cluster developments, but this isn't a typical cluster development. This is a clustered development by convenience where family members get huge lots and everyone else gets small lots, and they're supposed to get a variance to make that work. So to me, I agree with the concept of a cluster development for all the reasons you stated, but this doesn't fit the parameters to receive a variance. Thank you.
Okay. I mean, yes, Mr. Hayes. I'm not gonna answer that, but,
You want to continue?
yeah, let's see, Ms. Hayes. Yes, ma'am. Your name again for the record.
Annie Hayes, Farmers Lane. And I concur with the previous speaker. I am not against cluster developments to preserve open space. I think it's really important what the quality of open space is. And I think that if habitat is essential for open space and animal life, health of the residents, that you have to have certain considerations about what that is. You can't just, draw it on a piece of paper. And that quarter being blocked, I think, is really critical, and the water being blocked. So who's it open space for? Is it just for people, or is it open space for the preservation of the environment? And today happens to be Earth Day, so I will be vehement about that statement. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I'm sure everybody has open space for a reason, so. Regardless what to be honest with you, if I'm doing it personally, I'll be doing it to save money on roads. But then again, you are helping the town in the future for plowing and for salting and maintenance, and you are preserving some, a lot of open space. Personally, I do it for profit. I'm being honest. I don't know what he's doing, but doing it for profit also has a benefit to the town and to the environment. It just comes along with the package. What he's doing, whether he's doing it for the money or for the love of the nature and the animals or to save the town money, he's doing what he's right. His right is to develop this property. He owns the land, he has the right to do what he wants on it. Whether it gets approved or not, it's irrelevant. Just like Mr. Beaton, they have land and they have the right to do whatever they want on it. You disagree, apparently you disagree, you go to court and fight it in court. But this is the bottom of it. Some people say for land, for profit, it's all together. It's all mixed.
So, it might sound, a lot of times people misunderstand my comments, but I don't see any rabbits, foxes, bears, turtles, geese. As far as whether the property is being preserved for people or animals, the animals don't come to these meetings. They don't know. If we put a sign up that says animals keep out, if there's a path to the water, they're going to find it, whether it's a mowed lawn or whether it's a treed lot. So the animal story goes in one ear and out the other with me. I lived on Main Street in Wareham, and we had foxes and squirrels and opossums and raccoons and rabbits. We had every kind of wildlife there were because they didn't know they didn't belong there.
Anyway, that being said, what's the wishes? Anyone else want to speak in this matter? You want to continue? You want to close? You want to make a motion? Whatever you like.
If a couple members need time to mull this over, I'm good with continuing. If everybody feels that they're comfortable voting tonight, I can cast a vote this evening, so don't let,
I like to continue myself.
Well, as long as one's, then I think we should continue. I make a motion to continue.
Mr. Chair, there is one person who would like to speak again.
There's somebody online that wants to speak.
All right, let's hear him.
Sorry, I was going to ask whether you were going to take a vote to continue this or whether we were going to still have comments, because it sounds like you're still having comments. People have the right to develop their property subject to reasonable land use laws, which this town has enacted, and they say what they say. And the State Zoning Act says what a variance is and when it can be granted. So if we're going to keep talking, that's, but it's not clear to me whether you had planned on continuing it or not. That's why my hand was up. Thank you.
And who are you?
Julie Barry for Eagle Holt.
No, I mean, do you want to make comments?
She just wanted to be a lawyer.
Okay. We are, I think, Counselor, we're heading to continuing this matter. So we got a motion to continue, you said?
I made a motion to continue
I'll second.
until May 8th, I believe.
May 13th.
May 13th.
Okay, we got a motion by Jim to continue this matter until May 13th, and second by Chris. All in favor, say aye. Connor?
Aye.
Troy? Aye. Jim?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
And myself, Nazir, aye.
Let's continue.
We'll continue this matter. How are we looking for a deadline decision, Chris? We good, usually?
Do we have enough time?
It's not on our.
I mean,
sheets anymore.
we'll grant an extension if you need more time.
All right.
That's not a problem. Just have Josh let me know, and I'll get that
What
filed.
is that, 90 days from filing for variance or 100?
100.
100? Yeah, we
I
have
think
time.
we're still good. You got
We're
time.
still good. All right, so I guess on May 13th.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we start getting dates and stuff?
Anything relative to that hearing I'd like to have back in the folder unless you want to take it home.
Suddenly just don't get it.
Did I pass it in? You guys have anything you want to put back in the folder, or are you taking it with you?
No, I'm taking mine with me.
Taking it with you? Good.
All right, we're gonna move to public hearing. All the public hearings, 26-16, 2 Wareham Lakeshore Drive. Just sit down, get comfortable, we'll read it in, and we'll get you going.
Yeah, here's some original, let's keep the original. Here's a couple, pass them over. Here's the original, Les,
Thank you.
and the notice of public hearing, the zoning board of appeals will hold a public hearing on April 22nd, 2026, at 6:30 PM in room 520 of the Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571, to consider petition number 26-21 for a special permit or a variance from the requirements of Article 6, Table 625. Note 2, under the Wareham zoning bylaws. To, am I
That's
getting?
Great Neck.
Huh?
That's the wrong one, Great Neck.
ZB, 2621, are we reading 2621?
2616.
Keep them, and when we get to 2621, I'll start reading over again. What do you want, 26 what?
16.
16? Okay. Different order. I just grabbed, here we go. So don't mix these up when you give me back these. Give me back these for this file. Here you go.
All right.
Glad you guys are following along while I'm reading. Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on April 22nd, 2026, 6:30 PM, room 520 of the Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571, to consider petition 26-16 for a special permit or a variance from the requirements of Article 6, Table 621, and Article 13, Sections 1350, 1351, 1352, and 1353, under the Wareham zoning bylaws, to Curtis Perry of 28 Park Avenue, East Bridgewater, Mass. Proposes to remove the existing roof of the structure and add a second-story addition along with a small entryway and a farmer's porch to the dwelling located at 2 Wareham Lake Shores Drive, Wareham, Mass. This appears on Wareham Assessors Map 120, Lot 36, in the R130 zoning district.
Okay, very well. We need your name and address,
Curtis Perry. I'm here for 2 Wareham Lakeshore Drive.
and I need your address.
My address, 28 Park Ave, East Bridgewater.
Okay, very well. So, wanna explain to us what you're doing?
So I am essentially taking off the roof, taking the whole home down to studs, adding a full second floor, a small farmer's porch on the front, and then a small entryway, as well as a covered deck in the back of the property.
Okay. So you ran of issues of in setbacks?
Yes.
Alright. Let me look at your site. So you're gonna do second story, and you're gonna do a porch in the front, that's it?
Yes, yep, and then a covered porch on the back. And that's
Covered porch.
above a pre-existing patio.
It's, you're gonna cover the patio in the back?
Yes.
You're gonna put a porch, like a roof over it?
Yes, yep.
Okay. All right, very good. So apparently this is an R-130, and it's an existing non-conforming under 1352. If the board feel it's not so detrimental on, for the neighbors, we could act upon it as a special permit. If not, we'll act as a variance. Again, in the R-130, it's 100 feet setback in the front, 150, I think 150, 30, 30. So apparently he can meet those because he's an existing non-conforming. I start with this one, Mr. Sample will go back on his seat, but Connor can comment. Connor, do you have a comment?
I don't right now.
Troy?
Not at the moment.
Jimmy?
No, I'm still looking and reading.
Richard?
Oh, I went by the site this afternoon. I walked around. I talked with Curtis, or Mr. Perry. He explained everything he was doing, showed me all the work that he's done for conservation. I think he's handling the project in a professional manner, along with courtesy to the neighbors.
Okay, thank you. Chris?
Nope, from what I can see, it looks like it's not detrimental to the neighborhood, and I'm good with the project.
All right. Anyone in public want to speak in favor of this matter? Anyone against? Anyone online? Would you like to add anything else, sir?
No, I just appreciate the opportunity to bring some life back to this house, and, I know it's a non-conforming lot, and I'm just asking that I make it a little more non-conforming, but it's not detrimental to the, the neighborhood.
All right, very well, thank you. That being said, let's close.
Make a motion to close the public portion of this hearing.
Got a motion to close by Jim, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Troy, all in favor, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
Myself, Nazir, aye, closed.
I don't find this to be detrimental to the neighborhood, and I feel as though this could be acted upon as a special permit.
Okay.
So therefore, I move to act as a special permit.
We have a motion by Jim to act as a special permit, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Chris, all in favor, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
And myself, Nazir, aye. Now it's a special permit.
So what do we need, a special permit for what?
To add the second floor,
Are we
farmer's porch on the front, and to put a...
dealing with FAR or lot coverage or any of that?
No, he's got plenty.
So all we need is a special permit to increase an existing nonconformity?
Yes.
So moved.
So we have a motion to increase the nonconformity with the second floor and adding front farmer's porch and a roof above the patio in the back, correct?
Correct, yep.
And findings not detrimental to the neighborhoods on the findings. That's by Jim. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Troy. All in favor, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
And myself, Nazir, aye. I just add for the records, Patty, please add this, and it's gonna be built according to plans drafted by Madigan, land surveyor, and it's stamped on 3/4/2026. So you gotta build it according to these plans. If you defer,
Correct.
you're gonna end up in trouble. You might have to take it down or come back, so stick with the plans.
Sure, yep.
All right, thank you, good job, thank you very much.
Very much. Appreciate you guys.
Anything from this one?
Next one, 26-17, 18 Theth Toby Road.
Thank you. Rick.
Yeah.
Does anybody call you Rick?
Yep, that's what I go by most of the time, or I go by a lot. Most of them aren't pleasant, but,
Oh, Rick, does it rhyme with something?
hey, I grew up looking like Howdy Doody and Bozo, buddy.
Howdy doody and bozo. What are we at? 17, was that 16?
Yep, yep.
Okay. We got some blue cards here, some green cards. Petition, here you go, here's a couple. 1, 2, 3. Here's 3 more. I'll listen well. Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on April 22nd, 2026, 6:30 PM, room 520 of Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571, to consider petition number 26-17 for a special permit from the requirements of Article 11, Section 1172, Note 3, under the Wareham zoning bylaws, to Wareham Liquor Market II, Inc., care of Robert L. Perry, Esquire, of 191 Main Street, Wareham, Mass., proposing to retrofit a 3-foot by 8-foot double-sided Cirrus EMC under existing static sign located at 18 Seth Toby Road, Wareham, Mass. This appears on Assessors Map 85, Lot 1004B, in the Industrial Zoning District.
All right, Counselor, let's hear
Good
it.
evening, folks. Robert Perry, 191 Main Street in Wareham. Would you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Dave Kambati. I'm the business owner at 18 Seth Toby Road, Liquor Market of Wareham.
Thank you. All right, Counselor, let's hear it.
My clients, and there were effectively 2 of them, they bought this property on December 2nd, 24. And the problem is they grossly overpaid. They paid $2 million for the real estate, and that's in one of the 2 entities that I've got on my application. They paid $500,000 for the personal property, which included goodwill. When they got into the place, they immediately found out the numbers they were given were way off, wouldn't support the place, and they had to spend another $500,000 on inventory. It's left them with a very, very serious problem. They believe they could solve the problem by a little bit of advertising. And what they want to do is put like a 4x8 addition on the bottom of the existing sign. Existing sign remains just as it was. And I've given you pictures of it, and I'm going to give you, rather than ask you to look through Exhibit G, which is the whole sign application, most of which is probably meaningless to any of us. And what the important parts here, and I give them to you to take a look at it all, to dig through everything.
While he's passing them out, do you mind if I ask him a
You're way
question?
ahead of me.
Was this formerly Liquors and More, and now it's Liquor Mart?
Yes.
Okay,
it was
okay.
changed. I think the third
It
owner
was-
was changed by
yeah.
the prior owner. And my people took control here with the existing sign. Oh, you're way ahead of me, too.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
That's behind Aldi's, right? Okay.
We're behind the Dollar Tree, Aldi's,
Right.
and across from the Walmart.
I kind of assume everybody here knows where they are. Right across from the Walmart.
That's why I said liquor and more and not liquor mart, because everybody knew about liquor and more because of wines and more, and everybody wanted to play armchair attorney and whether it was okay to use that name, and it was big, but they got a lot of free advertising out of it. Social media, but, go ahead. Sorry.
Where was I? Okay, we've obviously got a tremendous hardship. And under the bylaw, clearly you can grant a variance for the increased signage based on a hardship, provided we don't substantially derogate from the intent and purpose of the bylaw. I think the hardship is very clear here. If you look at the front pictures I just gave you, that's the depiction of the proposed sign. They're adding this bottom part.
Where it
On
says
the part-
welcome?
On the part that says welcome, during daylight hours, there'll be advertising specials, events, that sort of thing. Evening hours, what it'll say is, their hours, it'll tell you when to come back tomorrow. The bottom part is what the bottom part is. It's just, it's to attract people, quite honestly. Gives you something to look at, the temperature and the time. As far as derogating from the intent and purpose of the bylaw, I think we all know that this bylaw was intended so we in Wareham didn't become a honky-tonk like you see down south when you're driving down I-95. And I would suggest this is probably one of the nicest-looking signs and one of the nicest buildings and well-maintained grounds in the town of Wareham. It's an addition to the town. I see no downside to giving them a variance in order to try and let them save themselves, and perhaps us end up with a vacant building that, nobody may have any use for. And that could possibly be where this thing is hidden. It's a very serious hardship here for these guys. So I'm just simply urging you to grant a variance under the sign bylaw. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. If there's any I can't answer, representative of my client is here, and he'll be more than happy to answer them.
Yeah, just confused. The commissioner called for a special permit.
He
you read
did,
it?
and I don't think he's right, Mazzy. I think, and I applied for a variance. I think it's a variance.
I think it's a variance.
And I cite the bylaw here in my letter to you.
Okay. Now, is this the welcome, is it like flashes and stuff?
I
Like
think it's solid.
like it's
is it
not a
not?
solid sign, like it changes, right?
Yeah, so it doesn't flash, but it'll kind of turn over different images. It's more just, and nothing will be rotating extremely
Yeah, it
fast.
changes. Okay,
but it
so
will
it's
rotate.
digital.
It's digital, correct.
See, I
designed to be
think
very
this you
discreet.
need a variance in Wareham for the digital one. Believe it or not, they're not allowed in Wareham. Those signs, right, Josh? They're not allowed. This would need a variance. The one that changes, the digitals, in Wareham, you need a variance.
And that's what I've applied for as a variance.
All right, so good. So we'll stick with the variance for the digital, and we'll stick with the commissioner special permit with the sign size,
That's fine.
you know?
As long as
Okay,
we can save ourselves, I'm happy.
yeah. All right. Connor, do you have a comment?
No, I just had the same comment as you as to whether or not they would need the variance or the special permit, but it looks like it would be both of them for separate things.
In this matter, correct. You good?
Yep, good.
Jim?
I'm working with my crayons. Can you come back to me?
So what size is the original sign that you could have there now, the liquor mart, beer and wine, spirits? What
Wait a minute,
size
I'm
is
gonna
that? That's
calculate
awfully,
out here. I'm gonna
looks
calculate.
awfully large. It's a huge sign.
It is. That was a sign approved originally.
As I remember, the town tavern also bought a building with a sign on it, and they put a sign on it, and they still had to come for a variance just to change the name.
Correct. But are you're not this sign exists, liquor and more, right?
Sign exists, and that's going to remain there.
Yeah, this is exist, so
So
they're not
it's been
changing it.
88
They're adding the
What
bottom.
we'd like to do is add the 4x8 portion at the bottom.
Right.
So our, our bylaws say you're allowed, what, 25 square feet sign?
In that zone, it does. But I suspect very strongly that nobody ever anticipated, or the bylaw didn't anticipate, as it says in the bylaw, the fact that that first part of Toby Road would become just a new Cranberry Highway.
So, and,
That was all country back when, well, not that long ago.
Yeah.
so they want to add on a 3-foot by 8-foot, which is what, 24 square foot,
That's correct.
in addition to the existing sign
That's correct, Chris.
that's there?
That's what we're asking for.
It seems quite large, in my aspect, that
Freestanding.
the sign is huge.
Well, it is, but it's tactful.
And then we have how many other places in that plaza, in that area? I mean, if we allow everybody a variance in that
They
area for a
separate.
huge sign, then we get all these signs.
No, they are separate. They're in the back. You know that liquor store in the back?
I know where they are.
Their driveway dumps on that plaza, but they're completely different owner, different entity.
Right, but it's the same entrance into that plaza, right?
No, they have their own.
They have their own entrance?
They have their own entrance, and they have one that dumps in the plaza.
To the other one?
They made a deal with the plaza, so the flow is kind of better.
So I think the entrance is also the backside of the fire engine lane for the back of the buildings, right?
I would say so. I don't want to say for positive, but I
It's not,
think it
it's
is.
not an entrance.
I just drove over the end today, but I
When
didn't
I,
check
when I
that.
went in there, I didn't see the entrance. I saw the back of the building of the General Dollar, whatever it is.
Right.
So their entrance is, it's not an entrance per se in my mind. I see the entrance for the liquor store, but I also see a fire engine pathway to come around the building, whether the public's supposed to use it or not, but I believe that space in the back is for the fire engines. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, but that's not this, that's,
No, I heard that that was the entrance to the mall. It's not the entrance to the mall, it's the
No.
entrance to this site.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't think I said it was the entrance to the mall.
the,
No, they have a pass to the mall,
did, I
but
misspoke.
it's got its own entrance. Richard's right.
Aldi Plaza was formed, created, and had a front and rear and side entrance, or front and two side entrances, actually. Or front, and then this property was sold thereafter with its own separate entrance. They're not, the two entrances have, one has nothing to do with the other.
That's how I remember it. The plaza was already built in there, and then the original owners bought out the two Rogers properties and built this place.
Where does this go?
If I may add.
Yeah.
The way that
Somebody
this
said it's
property
the
is
entrance to the
located,
thing. I said,
as you guys know, it's towards the back of
basically
Toby
not an
Road. Once you pass the property, it leads into the Wareham Crossing backside of things, and we're covered by Dollar Tree and Aldi. To this day, we still have customers coming in asking, when did we open? Or, when did we get so much inventory in the store? Because they haven't been there in years. Frankly, they didn't know that we even existed, just because we're covered by everything else that's there. And it's just a very easy site to miss just because we're in away from the road,
But that sign is huge, you can't miss that sign.
We have trees right in front of it. We don't know who those trees belong to, so that also covers, I believe, the picture that you guys have from the winter. Those trees right there, when they're grown, it covers.
That's one of the photographs I've given you there, Chris. In my section D.
He's looking right at it.
Make liquor in more small.
But you could cut those trees down if they're interfering, right?
The Shepherd Group Oats, and they don't know who owns the trees, they said.
Would it be incorrect to assume that it required a variance to get the sign that's already existing? Was there already a variance granted to get it this large? Do you know?
I tried to get it, I wasn't able to. I got hundreds of pages from Sonia through the entire site plan review, but I didn't get the variance. Like you, I would have to assume there was.
Based on the size,
Had to be.
may I continue? I kind of, but I'm going to propose to you that you'll get, I'm a big believer in signage. And I know you take a 4x8 sheet or a 5x10 sheet of plywood, and you make a sign and you say, wow, that's huge. And then you go out on the highway and hold it up beside one of the directional signs, and it looks like a postage stamp. People don't realize how big signs are until they try to make one. So I'm sensitive to the need of size for signs. However, I'm also sensitive to our bylaws. And where it says liquor and more, that whole panel could come out. Where you want to put welcome could stay blank. The bottom section of your sign, I've drawn it in orange here to the same size as what you're asking for. You wouldn't be increasing your sign, you'd be getting your digital display. Any message you want to get out would be as easily seen. Anybody that's close enough to see your digital sign will be able to read liquor and more, even though it's in a reduced cap. I personally don't see the need for the whole extra section on the bottom. I'd have the sign company remanufacture within your existing panel. That would be my recommendation.
You're suggesting moving the welcome in 70 degrees, 1145?
Take, where you've got the word welcome in blue,
Yeah.
you don't need it.
Well, that's where they actually do their advertising.
But you see where I've got orange here? I've drawn this in.
I don't.
You can,
I understand, well, but I want to make sure I understand.
If I may just add in.
that's what I was coloring. You see the orange?
Yeah, but still, I understand what you're saying, Jim. I mean, I maybe don't disagree with you. You're saying take this whole 4x8 and put it up here?
Yeah.
So the welcome sign stays. We've reduced the liquor and more
I'm saying
sign.
put your digital within the existing panel.
Okay, that's what I thought you were saying.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I'm trying to use as many words as possible and make it as confusing as I possibly can.
If I may.
I have to admit you did confuse me, but that's easy.
I know, and that's why
to do, Jim.
you got it now, what I'm saying. I personally don't think you need more sign area. I agree with Mr. Conti. I think you can get what you want to accomplish within the area of sign you already have.
Get rid of that. I think we can do that. I mean, that makes the board happy. I mean,
Now, you're not asking us to grant you more sign area, you're just asking us to grant you for a digital display within the sign you have. You could make that whole, as far as I'm concerned, you could make that whole panel digital.
Now, how do we do that? I think what we would do.
Call up
probably is
Pliant
get rid-
Sign and
get
give
rid
a
of these
blank
little
check.
Symbols at the top.
So-
Move the liquor more up, and as you say, get the new digital stuff up. So we maintain the same size. We must need some kind of relief from the board on that, too.
You need, I'm hoping our chair and every.
Go ahead, yes, keep going.
You need a variance to have a digital display. Inside, in the liquor store, you're gonna have a keyboard, and you're gonna write whatever you want, and it's gonna appear out there on that sign. That's what you need from us, permission to do that. Make a digital display
At the
within
very
the
least,
existing.
We need that. But do we need any other relief because we change on the overall sign?
You're not increasing the size 1 inch.
Are you satisfied? I mean, I am if the board is.
If you keep the same size, you don't need us.
No, they're making a change to the original sign. It's
That's
no different
what I'm
than
raising. That's the issue I'm raising.
the
I think we need that as
example
part of a
Rick brought
decision.
up Of Lindsay's.
Yeah,
It's
so
a
you
change
need a
to the
variance.
original sign. Yeah, you would require a variance.
Okay.
Well, we're not increasing any nonconformities.
But you still need a variance.
But
We need a variance for a digital display.
And the changing.
you're changing the sign.
Okay.
Any change to a sign requires
So-
a variance.
I can move on that level.
All right, well, while we discussing, anyone in the public want to speak in favor or against this matter? I hear that. You want to think about it, come back next time?
No, we agree with that. We don't have a problem with that. We'll.
So you're gonna, basically, your sign will be the
So we'll
same
put it up
size.
in the top, move the top up we'll have to probably get rid of these, a wine glass and a,
Right.
at the top.
And unless the board feels otherwise, I
Sanctioned by
don't
you
care
to do that.
if you make a monster digital display and have your wine glass as part of your display, I don't care.
All right,
Well, unfortunately, they already own the signs. They're not-
Well, yeah, well, they're gonna take that panel out. The
$50,000
sign,
sign.
that panel, that white clear plastic panel on either side that's coming out, and they're gonna plug,
who's gonna do your sign? You can have a company do it?
So we've actually paid a company, we're paying a company currently. We've spent $30,000 on this digital sign, and we're paying installments every month, principal and interest, until it gets approved and installed. So the goal for us is, look, we want to bring awareness that we're there, and we're willing to work with however the board sees fit to allow us to make this change, right? We want to be part of the community and make sure that everyone's happy around us.
So that same sign, you're gonna raise it, and you're gonna make the other sign smaller?
Correct. In our existing
Yes,
sign that we have, we'll conform this into there.
Right.
it changes from being a static sign to being a,
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We in agree, okay, is the board in agreement what he's doing?
I am.
Chris? It'd be the same size,
Yeah, as long as it doesn't get any bigger.
right?
No, won't get any bigger. We'll get
Yeah,
it down to the
okay.
same size.
This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna continue this matter. You're gonna go to your sign company. The attorney don't have to be here next time, and you come back with the correct draft with the right size.
Showing what the whole sign will be.
Right, and we'll be good next time, okay? That makes sense to everybody? So this way we have something in front of us to
so
approve.
we don't need to make a motion, we just gonna
Continue.
motion to continue and let them come back and change what they're requesting.
Right, go ahead. You want to say something?
I was just gonna ask if I could draw it for you right now and
No,
sign
no.
underneath.
Now, he wants to see a drawing.
We'll make sure that it
They
comes
might
out-
charge you $30,004, because they're gonna charge you $4 for the drawing, but
That's okay.
All right, let's
I
continue
appreciate it.
this matter.
Thank you so much.
So let's get a motion to continue.
motion to continue.
Second.
Until May 13th.
Second by Richard.
Can
Yeah,
you be
all-
ready by the 13th?
Yeah. Yeah, no
All in favor,
If
say
not,
aye.
I'll let you know in a timely fashion, but we're gonna certainly try to be ready for the 13th.
All right. All in favor, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jim?
All right.
Chris?
Aye.
And Richard?
Aye.
And myself, Nazir, aye. So for the 13th, we'll see you on the 13th. Thank you.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you for your time and good night.
Thank you, good night. 26-19, 127 Marion Road.
Skip 2618? 2618?
18, no,
We had a lot
26-19 now.
here.
Marion Road.
Hey, you had the bases covered.
Oh, 7th Street.
You had it covered.
No, sorry, I'm sorry, 7th Street, sorry. So you're right, Troy, I'm sorry, we fried, I guess. 26-18 is 13 7th Street. 13 7th Street. All right. All right. All right, where's the other one, Jim?
I'm getting there. Oh, yeah.
That's the other one.
This is the one we just did.
All right.
Thank you. I gotta go give this.
And let's see what we got here. Maybe I can, there's a couple this way. 1, 2. No, yeah, thank you. Yeah, pass them over. Keep one for yourself. Chris is passing out mid.
I had some too, I was gonna pass them out too.
And which, thank you. Did you find-
Thank you, Chris.
Did you find the one you were looking for? Thank you. Thank you. We'll get to you. We need a minute to agree. The Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on April 22nd, 2026, at 6:30 PM in room 520 of the Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571, to consider petition number 26-18 for a special permit or a variance from the requirements of Article 6, Table 622 and 628, and Article 13, Sections 1350, 1351, 1352, and 1353, under the Wareham zoning bylaws to Barbara Leone of 1 Hatterley Rise, Plymouth, Mass., proposing a 5-foot 4-inch by 6-foot closet addition to the first floor bedroom located at 13 17th Street, Wareham, Mass. This appears on Wareham Assessors Map 1, Lot 576, in the Onset Village 2 zoning district.
All right, I need name and address.
Bill Bayshant, 142 Bedford Street, Lakeville.
Ma'am, your name?
Barbara Leone, 1 Hatherley Rise.
All right, thank you. All right, Billy, what do you got?
Basically, we just want to add on enough to have her, for her to have a closet in her bedroom. That's pretty much it.
Does it require a variance or a setback? Does it?
Yes.
What's an existing non-conforming lot? It must be, right?
Yes, non-conforming lot coverage, and it's not going to encroach any further than the existing side setback.
I didn't have enough copies to keep one for myself, so pardon my questions. So the closet's gonna stick out the side of the house?
It's, well,
Bump
there's a
out.
jut out on the house already, it's just going to go over a
You're gonna
little more.
continue, so how far will you be from the property line?
It's like 2 feet from the property line
It's
existing.
already 2 feet
It's
from the
already
property
2
line,
feet,
so you're
yeah.
gonna continue a non-conforming,
I believe it's
Yes.
1.3 feet.
pre-existing non-conforming use, you're gonna increase the non-conformity by carrying it down that sideline.
Yes.
Just for the record, it's not like 2 feet, it's 1.3 feet, I believe.
It's not like 2 feet at all.
Oh, I heard like 2 feet, just trying to clarify the record.
Yeah, I got you, thank you. So I get it, and, I'll let the chair,
Yeah.
the chair's
Troy.
studying it.
Troy, what do you got?
I don't have any questions.
Connor?
I don't have any questions either.
Chris?
I'm good with it. I don't think it's detrimental to the neighborhood, and I think we could do a special permit.
All right, Richard?
I agree.
All right, anyone in the public in favor or against this matter? I hear none. You want to add anything, or you good? Good? You want to add anything, Billy? You want to say anything? You good?
Well, it looks like it's going your way, shut up.
All right, let's move to close.
Make a motion to close the public portion of this hearing?
This motion to close by Jim, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Chris, all in favor say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
Myself, Nazir, aye, it's closed.
Make a motion to grant as relief as requested.
We have a motion, you guys want to go for a special permit?
Yes.
All right, so can we get a motion to act as a special permit?
So moved.
So we have a motion to grant as a special permit, and the finding is not so detrimental to the neighborhood. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Second by Chris, all in favor, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Chris? Aye.
Chris? Richard?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Now it's a special permit. And the wishes?
We're gonna, you say you're gonna continue a pre-existing non-conforming use along the side. I read the dimensions before. You're not gonna, it's gonna be 5 foot 4 inches by 6 feet.
Yes.
That's the outside dimensions.
That's the outside
No
dimensions.
greater than 5 foot 4 inches by 6 feet. Closet addition, no plan or anything like that, you just,
That is
you got a
Lockwood.
plan?
By Lockwood
Plan by Lockwood,
Architect, and it's drafted 11/30/2025. Wow.
for that plan.
Yeah, that's an old plan. Okay, so on the special permit, what's the wishes?
I'm making a motion to grant the special permit. in accordance with that plan.
Okay, so we have a motion to
And the
grant
conditions.
and the finding not detrimental to the neighborhood according to plan drafted by Lockwood Architect and it's drafted on 11/30/2025. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Chris. All in favor, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Nazir carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, ma'am.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. 26-19, 127 Marion Road.
Thank you, sir. Some people come out of the closet, some people come out for a closet.
And in my house, I just wish I had more than one closet, and I made 7.
That should be then I'll end up like Robin Williams, no thank you. Here you go. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on April 22nd, 2026 at 6:30 PM in room 520 of the Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571, to consider petition number 26-19 for a use variance or under the Wareham zoning bylaws to Tony and Remy LLC, care of Dennis J. Conry, Esquire, of 245 Main Street, Wareham, Mass., seeking to use a coffee cafe and dog daycare center located at 127 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. This will appear on Wareham Assessors Map 60, Lot A1 in the CS Commercial Strip zoning district.
All right, Counselor.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, my name is Dennis Conry. My office is located at 245 Main Street, Wareham. I'm appearing tonight on behalf of the applicant, Alex Labossiere, and Tony Remy. Tony and Remy LLC.
All right, so what are we doing here?
What am I doing here?
All right, what's...
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
I'm seeking a special permit or a variance in order to allow Mr. Labossiere to open a coffee shop and a dog daycare in the building in front of Shaw's Supermarket on
That was the liquor store back in the day?
that was
Okay.
Brown Liquor Store.
All right.
Yeah, after that, it was a medical center for 3 or 4 years, and it's been empty for almost 5 years at this stage, and vacant. So he's entered into a lease with the owner of the shopping center, a long-term lease to conduct this business. Alex is a disabled veteran. He served 13 years in the Air Force. This will be a veteran-owned business. He lives in New Bedford now, but he's got a long history in Wareham. His great aunt is actually with us today. She lives on.
I used to own the Mill Pond next to the diner.
She was.
Gas station and liquor store.
Yes, we'll get to you, man.
Thank you. She's his great aunt, and she lives on Great Neck Road.
Thank you.
And so the family has lots of connections to Wareham. Alex goes down and spends several days a week with his great aunt. But he was deployed overseas 4 times, and he's disabled and volunteered for the Air Force when he was 18, served 13 years, and now he wants to decide what he wants to do with the rest of his life. So he has the condition. I'm sure you people are all familiar with the property. I'm not going to describe the existing conditions. It's an empty building. There's going to be no changes to the exterior of the building. It's a pretty large building. It's 5,700 square feet, and Alex has come up with this idea that he wants to serve. He has a dog. and he's worked in a doggy daycare to get to learn the nature of the business, and he wants to perform a service for the community. He sees that there's a real need for this use in town. So he submitted a application for a change of use with the building commissioner, and the building commissioner executed or sent a very short letter, and as you've got it in your package. He determined that doggy daycare is not an allowed use in the town of Wareham, and that Alex would have to apply to this board for a use variance. So Alex came in to see me after that happened, and I read the zoning bylaw, and I went through the use chart, first page of the use chart. I see that you could have a kennel in Wareham, and you could have it either on a 5-acre parcel or less, in which case you would need a special permit. It's allowed by a special permit for a kennel. And if you have over 5 acres of space, it's allowed by right, as I read the chart. So I asked Alex, well, what's the nature of this business? Do you do anything different than a kennel does? I said, well, the doggy daycare just has the dogs over during the daytime. From his proposed hours at the present time is from 6 a.m. to accommodate a lot of people that go to work at that time, to 7 p.m. They get out of work and pick up the dogs. So he said, this is a business that needs to be filled, and he decided that it would be a good idea to have the people who come pick up their dog be able to buy a coffee. And who knows where this idea will go, but it makes sense, and he'll have the same people working in both businesses. He'll divide met with the Board of Health, and they say this is fine with them as long as there's a solid wall between the buildings. And initially there'll be 4 people working. He's going to work beyond the site every day. So it's going to be, not a business. He's going to be present. He's developed a manual as to what will be done with the dogs, and I asked him. The first thing that came to my mind was, well, how are the dogs going to be handled? Well, there's an outside area. If you've had a chance to look at the layout of the property, there's a couple outdoor fences, and those are going to be connected. There's only one entrance to that facility from inside, so the dogs are not going to be going from the parking lot into that fenced area. So he can tell you all of the details, and I'm sure each one of you probably have a different question that comes to mind about this. But this property, or this floor plan is already cut up kind of ideal for when they put in the medical use. This wasn't the layout for the liquor store, but they put in little cubicles for examination rooms, and he can put the dogs in there, and there's going to be about 20 dogs on the property, and always 2 people, at least 2 people working. So I submit that this is really this is less offensive or less onerous than a kennel would be. If he's only open 12 hours, he's doing the same thing. The only thing that the dogs aren't sleeping, but they're taken care of. And he eventually will probably get into doing some grooming. There's enough space in this room in this property, in this store, to provide all kinds of services but if there's going to be a need. So it's going to make a very substantial financial investment in building out the property, and the landlord is helping them out a lot and contributing to the build-out. So it looks like a great idea. You got a young fellow with an idea and energy and a commitment here, and it makes sense, and especially when we're looking at a property that's been empty for 4 or 5 years. So, I submitted a logical reading of the bylaw would say, well, this really is a permitted use, and because it's the same as a kennel. And if you called it a day kennel, you'd have the same thing. And they're one and the same. So I don't know. I didn't know whether to count the whole, because the zoning bylaw differentiated between 5-acre parcels and under 5 acres. Under 5 acres, it's a special permit use. Over 5 acres, as I read it, it's allowed by right. So if this board chose to, so the mall is 12-acre parcels. So I don't know if it's on the whole 12 acres or less than 5. It doesn't matter really. So I would ask the board to.
So I just didn't want to throw an idea out there. Boy, it'd be nice to take my dog over, have a coffee, and let her play a little bit while she was there, but I'm not trying to change anything. But anyway, I just, and thank
name down, yeah.
Thank you for your service, and sorry you had to be disabled over it.
All right, Councilor, question. The fence area, you gonna fence it? Your name first for the record, we didn't have your name.
Alex Labossiere, 22 Rodney Street, New Bedford.
All right, so are you gonna put a fence? It says here fenced area.
Yes, sir, that's already, and right now there's an actual yellow line right around it. It's an old loading dock area, so it's already, I'm literally just gonna put the fence
Is that a
exactly
fence?
where that. There is not currently a fence. I'd like to propose to put a fence right
Okay.
there and then put AstroTurf down for the, dogs.
But wouldn't you wanna make it dirt for the dogs?
AstroTurf is fine enough right on top of the asphalt or the concrete there.
Okay.
It's good.
All right, so if you say it's
It
good for
won't,
the-
it'll help their joints and things like that, just
okay.
having that on there.
Another thing, just for the board to remember, we did grant a use variance in that plaza for the gym. It didn't allow it, just so you know.
Yeah.
Another thing, do you have a proof of possession of the property, like a lease? It's not in the file.
Yeah, we've got a lease.
Have one? Because it's not in the file.
We didn't get a copy of the lease as well.
I don't think it's quite long, but, so, lease, here it is, yeah.
As long as you, the counselor, you say you
Yeah, I've
have
seen
it.
it. Yeah, I
we'll
have it.
Go for you.
I have it.
I just, okay, as long as you say you have it, because I remember we had a case one time, somebody filed for a permit, they didn't have possession of the property. But anyway, that being said, let's move to the board. Do you have a question? So here for the use variance, that's all we're here for.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just, this is less to the applicant and more maybe to the board. If the applicant had applied as a service establishment instead of explicitly stating that it was a dog daycare, would they even need the variance?
What do you say, Josh?
Yeah.
Service?
A service establishment?
Because wouldn't that be allowed already as a use? And again, it's not, it's
Yeah, what
just
service are
curiosity.
they providing to meet the definition of a service establishment?
Service for what? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, like dog grooming, for an example, could be a service, and the services.
well, you have to specify the
Well,
service.
the coffee shop would be the restaurant use.
Right. But specifying the service, it triggers the variance, the use variance.
So you can't just say that it's a service.
Well, if
establishment.
it's service of a hair salon, it's allowed use. If a service for daycare, dog daycare, that's what triggers the use, apparently.
Okay.
You know, I believe that's the explanation, but maybe just come up with something else. We'll get back to you. Troy, do you have a question?
Just a question about what kind of fence would be going up. I'd want to go with a fence person, but I would propose putting bollards because there's, one way coming in right there, not a lot of people use that entrance, but there is a little entrance right there. I want to put a few bollards up, I want to put a 6-foot privacy fence.
Okay.
That way, nobody can, look, well, at least I'm 5'4", I couldn't do it, I can't look and, distract all the dogs and get them all riled up or anything like that, because
Yeah, I would think traffic
that would
might get them
turn-
riled up too, so having no view of that would be good.
Yeah, and that, both nobody looking in and them not looking out either, I think would be the safest option for the dogs.
So, this plan that we're looking at, that's existing, is that what it is? All these cubicles are existing
Yes, sir.
exam rooms?
Yes, sir.
Is that what I'm looking at? Okay. So, when I listened to the original presentation, I think I heard a solid wall between the two. It's like two businesses. One's a coffee shop and one's doggy daycare.
Yes, sir.
So, I think we should see a drawing showing us where that solid wall is gonna be.
I put that in that drawing, the proposed wall, it's in blue.
In this drawing?
Yes, sir. It's in blue. I have it highlighted on Mr. Connery's.
It's not a straight wall, it's
It's
just
not-
kind of jogged.
It's not a straight wall.
It follows the kind of the landscape of the building, so that way I have to do the least amount of construction.
You're an old man like me.
I'm an old man like you.
So it's kind of a jagged wall.
I wouldn't like to,
I'll find it. Oh, I see some, this is,
Jim,
He made it through the maze. He did what were those highlighter magazines?
does this help, does this look
that's right. Yep.
vaguely?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it? Okay. Not bad for an old man like you. Glad you. So, and there'll be a door between the two businesses? You said you're gonna have the same people working in both, or would the person handling the dogs be going out and stirring the coffee?
Yeah, they wouldn't be working at the exact same time, but it would be, let's say an employee can do either position, but they wouldn't be on the both
Okay,
positions for
so
the
there'll be
same
somebody
shift,
with the
you know what I mean?
dogs and somebody with the
Yeah,
coffee?
if you're working dogs, that's all you're doing that day, you're not mixing the
Yeah,
two.
okay. I get it.
There would be a door if it's allowed by the health department. If they say no, then the employee would have to walk outside and go through the front door. So
And
I'll
there's-
work with them however they want it.
And there's bathroom facilities on both sides
So
for,
there's 2 bathrooms on both sides of that wall.
on both, okay. It's just hard to tell from this plan.
Right.
And so how many dogs do you propose to have in there, at a time, giving daycare?
About 20.
Pardon me?
20.
20? 20 dogs? Would that be the maximum?
That would be, well, I'd have to see what they allow, but 20 I think would be a reasonable amount for, if you have one
Is that
person
just
at the
a-
counter
I'm
and
not,
2
I'm not
people.
being a wise guy. Is that just a number you pulled out of thin air?
I
or-
just think that's a comfortable amount for.
You could make
two
money in 20.
Yeah, you can make money and 2 employees can handle that without having to hire 5 or 6 different, because you want to keep the dogs as safe as possible, right? So
Yeah,
I
well-
don't want to overload and have
So-
35 dogs.
Yeah, that's
that
what,
are
that's why I'm asking, if there were 80 dogs in one person and they had to go walk each dog, the person would get really tired.
Right, I agree. No, that's exactly right, and I think 20 is a pretty conservative number. A
So
lot
one
of the-
person can walk maybe 20 dogs when they need to do their business. And where are they gonna do their business?
They'll be right in that fenced area and the.
So that fenced area with the artificial turf
Yes, sir. Yep.
is gonna be, it's not a playground, it's a poop ground.
It'll be one and the same, but that's how the
And
dogs
then
like it.
how do you propose to clean that on a,
Mass law states that you have to bleach it every single day, so it would be bleached with just bleach on a hose.
pick it up and
You
then
pick
you...
it up and you throw it out as you do with regular when you're walking your
That's
dog.
regulated by somebody, not zoning, that's not a
That's all
zoning.
mass law, it's all covered
In order
there,
to get
but
the
then
permit,
every
you have
day,
to conform.
Right.
Yeah, okay, I'm just, I know these questions are gonna come up, so I figured get them out there if somebody's watching online or, and when they go outside, they're in a fenced area, so you don't have to put them on a leash, you just open the door and kick them out and let them do their thing, or do you have to?
Right. Yeah, well, you'll walk them out, obviously, and you don't want them running loose in the building, and then once the door's shut, they'll be free to run.
And so there isn't really like Richard alluded to, there isn't really a play area where dogs can get friendly with other dogs or anything like that?
No, I wish
I
there
was
was.
just-
That's
I was
very
just
difficult
hoping-
to do.
I was
you know,
just
Very
being
difficult to
wise.
do in this state. It's not easy at all to do that. I tried originally to do that, and then
You could end up in some doggy paternity suits.
I would love to do it, but in Florida I could do that, not in Massachusetts.
Okay, and you're not gonna be providing any grooming?
As of right now, no.
Does that require a separate license, or is that something that if you added it, you could add it at any time at will?
You can add it, would just require a license through the state, just a regular.
So that's licensed as well?
Right.
Okay. I guess, if you feel as though the fenced area is adequate, that was the extent of my questions.
Chris?
Jim exhausted all the questions that I had.
Well,
But I'm good with the project. I'm all set with that.
Richard?
Oh, I'm good, thank you.
Anyone in public in favor or against this project? I'm
In favor.
All right, good, thank you.
So
All
just for, if he does want to put service in, if he wants to do grooming and that, he doesn't need to come back, right? He should be good with what we're
With
gonna
the
do.
use variance.
Okay, good.
So in case you expand to grooming and stuff, you don't have to come back. All right? Anything else before we close?
Nothing further.
All right, let's move to close.
so moved.
We have a motion to close by Jim. Have a second?
Second.
Second by Troy. All in favor, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
And myself, Nazir, I closed. On the use variance, what's the wishes?
I guess we're looking to grant them a variance for the use, for two uses. You don't need a variance for the restaurant, the
No.
coffee shop, by right.
Permitted- it's a
That's by
permitted
right.
use.
So all you care about is the the daycare. A use for, so we're gonna grant a variance for a doggy daycare, which means there'll be no dogs overnight, am I correct?
I wouldn't restrict
That's what I
this.
heard.
Huh?
That's what I heard from the gentleman.
So if somebody wants to go to Florida for a week, they can't leave their dog with you?
No, well, hold on. Why should we restrict him from that?
Ask that,
No, let's not put restriction.
You
In
wanna-
case he wants to have a babysitter 24/7, let's not restrict the guy. It's a tough business. Let's not restrict him.
but I want it clear so that
Right.
nobody can appeal it, that's why I'm asking.
So you could have, if you decide you want overnight and you have somebody watch him, it's fine.
Thank you.
Like, when I go to Florida, I have to, I
Yeah.
have to hire somebody to come in and feed my fish.
Mr. Chair, if there was to be
Overnight.
overnight dogs kept there for boarding, it would actually require a commercial animal kennel variance.
So you're not
So-
getting that. You're gonna have to come back if you want that.
So our motion is gonna grant you daycare, not overnight care.
I'm sorry, Josh, did you say a commercial license or
No, use variance for commercial animal kennel. So under our animal-related uses, animal kennels, commercial, a commercial establishment in which 3 or more dogs or domesticated animals are housed, groomed, bred, boarded, trained, or sold. Requires a use, it would require a use variance, because animal kennels, well, let me go to my use table here.
Well, we discussed that this in effect is an animal kennel. I mean, it's the same business as an animal kennel. What are the services, what services are you gonna offer?
The daycare. But, I mean, I think it's worded in the bylaws that you can have it as a kennel, but daycare wasn't in there, so. I think
No, I got
a
that,
kennel.
but the services that he renders are identical to those that are offered by a kennel, except for the overnight. And in this, on this, so I guess my point is that why don't we treat it like a kennel?
Like
Could
a kennel?
Excuse me?
So grant the use variance for a kennel? That's what you think, what you say?
Well,
How about if we
well, I
make-
hear you. If his business does evolve, like, is that going to require us to come back in? I guess it will, but, okay for me, but if he wants to pay me to come in here and take up your time, but it seems a little, your initial inclination, Mr. Chairman, is mine. why put a restriction on it
Right.
now?
So can we motion to grant this variance,
The use variance,
the use for daycare and
Overnight.
or overnight care?
why not?
If it's so determined, and if additional licenses are required by the state in the future, then that's between him and, you know, the Board of Health or the state or whatever grant, whatever license, you know. I know you need a license to cut somebody's hair, maybe you need a license to groom a dog, I don't know.
You do, yes.
I don't know, whatever, you know, so,
We can't just do animal kennel? That's what's listed in our use definitions and what's listed in in our table. Animal kennel less than 5 acres, animal kennels more than 5 acres.
so you're saying it's an allowed use, or?
Well, I think it needs,
It's a special permit use
Yeah.
on under 5 acres, and it's an allowed use in over 5 acres.
So it's a special permit under 5 acres. But does his lease include 5 acres of land?
No.
I mean, the whole entire site is 5 acres, but you don't have, the dogs aren't gonna be out behind Shaw's
No.
digging through the trash
Let's
can.
stick with
5
the
acres.
use variance. Let's
Yeah.
stick with the use variance.
Yeah.
Let's make a motion. Get a motion.
So
to
my motion was to grant relief in the form of a special permit for a kennel, which would include doggy daycare and potentially overnight boarding, immediately or in the future.
You said a special permit, use variance, you mean?
Well, he's saying,
Motion to,
If you're trying to cover what the building commissioner was asking for, he specifically said a dog daycare requires a use variance.
correct.
If you were trying to allow the gentleman to run it as a animal kennel on less than 5 acres, you could do that via special permit.
Right, but then we have to overturn his decision, then we gotta get a new letter from the commissioner. He's
Then
gonna
let's
apply
go to-
again,
Right.
and the whole 9 yards.
then let's call it a variance, not a
It
special
sounds like
permit.
the applicant is fine with no overnight care as of now, and if that's what he's seeking, he can come back for a special permit to the zoning board.
But do we need,
One sec. You get what I'm saying? You here before us for a use variance. If we are to go something else, we have to overturn the commissioner decision and send you home and come back with a new application. And that's something I guess you don't want to do. So let's stick with the use variance and grant you a use variance for what you want. If in the future end up doing good, you could come back for a kennel.
So, I will say that Mr. Conroy's application is an application for variance and special permit.
and,
I covered them both,
Yep.
either or, as I usually do with
either or.
Right, but the
But the
commissioner
Commissioner's
letter
letter says you need a variance.
specifically on a use variance.
Correct.
For a daycare, he didn't mention the kennel or
So maybe
anything.
we need two things. Maybe we need a use variance for dog
For daycare.
and we need a special permit for a kennel.
But the kennel is not in front of us.
Okay, then let's just offer him a variance.
Let's stick for the
daycare.
use variance. Use variance, I hope you do well, and it'll be fine to come back, how's that?
Thank you.
If you need to keep him overnight, you're gonna have to come back.
All right, very good, so.
So my motion is to grant
The use
a
variance.
variance
The use
for the
variance.
use.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Troy, all in favor, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
aye.
Chris? And Richard?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Thank you, it carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
All right, 26-20, 0 Route 28.
Do I have everything back on that last one? Thanks, Richard.
We'll be taking a quick break.
Yeah, I might,
Right out.
I'd come with you, but I think they might start talking. We're taking a moment to get, before we get to you. And we want,
Yeah, don't do anything now, it's Rich's turn.
619, huh? Now we should make a vote. Yeah, is that what you're trying to do? Table, can we table something quick? You've been hanging around, I'm having a bad influence on members of this board. Thank you. Town of Wareham. Oh. Route 2.
Scrivener's error, it's Route 25.
Route 2
It's Route
isn't in
25.
Wareham.
You're right, Route 2 is not in Wareham.
Looking all over for Route 2.
Yeah?
Route 25.
You must have went for a pretty long trip then.
You'll be able to do more than P during that trip. And table. Okay, so 2620. 2620. I think it's safe for me to read this with one member.
Let's pass them.
Yeah, one member out of the room, but he's back. He's back, and we've got,
It's a problem with taking prednisone. Your body works 10 times faster on everything.
1, 2, 3. You guys may remember this one, maybe you don't, so I'm gonna give you everything again. 1, 2, 1. So we're gonna start needing more copies in the file, Josh. We got a member missing and I'm going without.
Yeah, we're.
That's all right, I don't mind, I'm just, just so you,
I have
no,
another.
I don't need it.
Yeah,
I don't. You guys can,
I have another set of site plans if it's helpful.
Yeah, we're good.
my comment was
Not for
more
nothing,
for,
but as a board, we do get along, so I don't have a problem.
you don't need that, okay. The zoning board of appeals will hold a public hearing on April 22nd, 2026 at 6:30 PM in room 520 of the Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571 to reconsider petition number 26-20, Wareham PV1 LLC, care of Clavens Law Group, Jonathan S. Clavens Esquire of 420 Boylston Street, Suite 610, Boston, Mass, pursuant to the court's order of remand as the applicant's remand request for reconsideration of amended project at 0 Route 25, Wareham, Mass. This appears on Wareham Assessors Map 115, Lot 1000, in the R130 zoning district.
All right, very well, thank you. Name and address, please.
Aaron Hills, 125 High Street, Boston.
Okay, so,
Jonathan Clavens, Clavens Law Group, 420 Boylston Street, Boston.
ma'am?
Sarah McCarthy from BHB, 120 Front Street, Worcester, Massachusetts.
All right. Can you refresh
Chair?
our memory and what's going on?
Sure. Mr. Chair, members of the board, first off, I just want to say sincerely appreciate the reconsideration of this variance request. As some or maybe all of you might know, this has been a multi-year conversation around how to thoughtfully balance the setback requirements for this property and the economic need to support a solar project on site, pretty uniquely shaped in narrow strip of land. So what we've tried to do is really balance all that out and reach a thoughtful compromise site plan that allows for maximum setback where we can afford to give that, and then asks for relief in certain areas where we think that it doesn't cause any impact to the surrounding properties. So I think Sarah will probably speak in a little bit more detail to some of the particulars, but.
Is this a remand, court remand?
Yes.
That's for the planning board as well as us. We have denied that variance prior?
No, there was a prior variance request in 2021 or 2022, so years before now. This is a different request. So we're not asking the Zoning Board of Appeals to reconsider anything. The Planning Board denied a site plan review special permit in December 2023.
That was appealed to the land court.
Yeah.
The land court remanded it as part of a settlement painstakingly worked out with the planning board and town council. And the compromise site plan worked out with the planning board requires a visit to you for several setback variances.
So you just a regular application before us, no remand, nothing, just you're here for a variance, period.
That's correct.
All right. very
Sorry,
well.
I didn't mean to confuse you with
That's
the
okay.
poor
All
word
right.
choice there.
So let's hear it, keep going.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair. The notice that was sent out, or the notice that was publicized, it says remand request for reconsideration of amended project. I mean, it doesn't say anything in this public notice about solar, it doesn't say anything about, I had no idea what this was all about with this public notice.
Is this what Jim just read?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't say
Wanna
anything
say it
about
again?
solar, it doesn't say anything.
So my,
That has not, I mean, it would have to say a variance for setback, doesn't have
So my
to
memory-
specify solar.
my memory may be wrong, but my memory is that this came in front of this board, and we were the permit granting authority at that time. It didn't go in front of the planning board. Since then, the town of Wareham sends this type of a thing over to planning, and zoning only deals with setbacks. So this very well could be, I'm going by memory, not by what I'm reading. This very well could be a remand to the ZBA, because the ZBA, at the time of your last time in front of the town of Wareham, was the
No,
permit granting authority.
No, that's not correct. The,
Okay, that's just,
yeah,
try-
but the,
then I need to, yeah.
yeah, so
The
just to let,
remand is clear with the planning board. The court is clear with the planning board. But why the advertisement, who drafted the advertisement? Who did the notice?
We drafted it.
You did it.
Down drafted it, yep.
and there's a reason for the mention of remand with respect to this board,
Mm-hmm.
because the court's remand order sets out several contemplated actions.
Mm-hmm.
One of the actions is a remand hearing before the planning board. Another action that was part of the global settlement was to apply for a variance before your board. So it's part of the remand
Yeah, but
contemplated
why
process.
would the settlement include a variance?
That was one thing that the planning
You
board.
never applied for a variance with us, have you?
So, Mr. Chair, the remand to the planning board determined that they did not have the ability to grant the setback relief under the
Right,
zoning
but
bylaw.
I understand.
So that while the remand was in front of the planning board, they said, hey, we can't make a determination on this, you need to obtain the variance from the zoning board.
I understand. Okay, but this has nothing to do with court or a judgment.
The judgment for remand specified that they come to the zoning board for the variance, for the setback relief.
But this public notice says nothing about variance, nothing about anything. To me, I don't think the public was notified about this hearing, correctly.
So you think the advertising is defective?
I do.
All right, I could see this in the remand that, what you're saying, that my clerk is showing that it needs to file variance with us, which I
Right.
understand.
And we assumed the agenda was consistent with the public notice, no? Because the agenda talks about a variance.
Well, let's talk about the agenda, too.
Yeah.
It says 02 road,
Route 2.
yeah, 0 Route 2 variance.
I tell you what, just, I mean, say we continue with the way it is, and say we don't grant it to you, and we go to court. I don't think it's gonna go far with you, because it's a defective notice. My recommendation, for your benefit, you go back to the town and draft with the with the town planner a proper notice. I would, if I was the developer, I would do this, because apparently you've been in court with the planning board, just in case you end up in court with zoning, and if it's a defective advertising, it might blow up in your face. I recommend that you go back and file a proper notice.
Could we, I have not seen the
think-
public notice. Is it possible to just,
You know, hey, you want this again?
And the hearing notice was circulated to the
If we
abutters
can't
as
do
well.
anything more, we should,
Let me, 1 second, go ahead.
Understanding the language of the notice, the notice itself about this public hearing and the lot itself and the variance, I don't know if it says variance specifically. It was sent to the abutters list, so we got the certified abutters list, and we received the green cards back and sent to Josh's attention. So just wanted to note that the relevant abutters were notified of the hearing tonight, just to.
Well, I'm sure they were
that's clear.
notified, but there was no variance mentioned here. This is my concern. Well, it says here, including the Wareham Zoning Board of Appeals, the developer has further agreed to file with the Zoning Board of Appeals an application for a variance under General Laws 48, Section 10, seeking a variance. It's on your court, or it's under remand order. So I would, if I'm you, I would do that. I don't know what you want to do.
well,
I don't know what how much we could, I mean, if the board doesn't feel, if the board, I say, well, we're not gonna hear it, it's defective, you gotta go back. But I do agree, you should go back and redo the notice properly.
yeah, we would be comfortable moving forward based on the fact that the public notice mentions the order of remand, which is a matter of public record, which contemplates this whole process. There's also going to be a robust remand hearing before the planning board, and, you know, that's going to be the center of gravity for all of the routine planning issues that come up. So we're comfortable that there's not a procedural risk here for us moving forward.
But it is for us.
I'm not comfortable with the notice.
You're not,
It's a risk to us. We're gonna,
what do you think, Troy?
I agree with Chris.
You get 3 people agreeing that they're not comfortable without the proper notice.
we also have to look out for the public as we're doing this, so.
If I may,
Yeah.
anytime anything to do with this property has come, with this project at this property has come in front of this board, we've had a minimum of 20 people here talking about turtles and birds and water and all the woes of a solar panel and all the toxins and whether we agree or disagree, but I think the point that my brothers
Yeah.
here are making is that if those people had been served notice, they'd have been out, they'd be here tonight. And they're
Or
not.
serve properly what's
so-
it about.
So they're gonna scream and
I was
holler.
actually surprised that nobody here.
No, they're gonna scream and holler that they weren't notified,
Sounds
and they're
like
gonna
they
create.
didn't get it. It wasn't
So you
properly,
might as well,
Oh, misread it.
whatever.
I want to make sure I'm understanding, what I just read does have the correct address. So what
It's
is?
not the address, it's you're here for a variance.
That it doesn't specify
It doesn't-
explicitly.
It doesn't specify a variance. It doesn't really specify the project, a variance for the setback, for the, there's a existing, there's no solar yet.
Okay, so the core issue is really that it doesn't explicitly
It's
mention.
gotta,
the
yeah,
nature of the project.
when it's a, listen, if you were doing adding a deck at your house, we'd say it's okay. But it's a case like this, it's gonna blow up in everybody's face, and it already did with the planning board, so I'm sure, and the last thing we want the neighbor to come to us, say, oh, you didn't give us a chance, so. And I think it's the right thing to do, to advertise it properly. Whether it's our fault or your fault, If it's the board for, I recommend that we don't charge you the advertising fee or application fee. Right, Josh? I think that's
I
fair for
think
you.
that the public notice has to include the words variance and solar and,
I mean, you guys should coordinate with the planner to be explicit. Josh, it has to explain a lot and not notice, okay? And they won't charge you for the advertising and the application.
Okay, so Josh, let's coordinate.
Sounds good.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
we're not, you know, just so you know, we're not saying we don't want to hear you. We're saying, and we're not saying we want to put up with all the abuse that we know is going to follow with the notice. We want the people that are going to make that noise not have the ability to say, nobody told me. And then we can say, yeah, but, you know, we heard you. We don't have to listen to you, but we have to hear you.
Yeah, understood. Yeah,
right.
we'll,
You know-
we'll work it out with Josh and we'll come back.
Yeah.
Just so you know, a lot of the controversy was about a battery energy storage
Yep.
component of the project that was dropped in June 2023. And then by the time we came back with a solar-only project that the board was pleased about, the bylaw had changed to include a 75-foot setback that on this weird axe-shaped parcel was going to squeeze the project and make it non-viable. So that led to the denial, the appeal, and then this compromise.
But don't we have another one in town
All right,
that's in
so-
another area that has?
I don't know, but,
Yeah.
so I would, if you don't mind, if you just ask to withdraw without prejudice, the application? If you,
You want to withdraw it and then
Why don't you just continue it with the acknowledgement that it needs to be re-advertised and notified?
keep it open? As long as you guys are willing to keep giving us
you
more.
need 1 month for advertising to resend all the notice. Right? So it's gonna push. It's gonna push
We're gonna need an
until,
extension on the time for the board to make a decision because it's gonna,
it just started, we got plenty of time, so it's gonna push until June 10.
Yeah, you need that much time for?
No, I don't think so. I mean, realistically, we could put together a worthy advertisement tomorrow, get it to the Wareham Week. They would publish it on the
So when do you
30th
want
and
it?
the 7th.
So 13 or the 27 then, the May,
I think we could satisfy the requirements by the 13th.
by the 13? Okay, continue. Somebody-
motion to continue to May 13th.
Okay, we have a motion to continue 26-20, Route 28, Route 25, sorry, till May 13 by Jim. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Richard. All in favor, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jimmy?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
And myself, Nazir, aye.
You might want to give Chris a phone call tomorrow and read the advertisement and, or Troy or Richard or somebody, just, I'm not saying that we
No,
need
I-
to check your work, I'm saying,
No,
you know, we need to run into the same bullshit again, same problem.
I feel capable. I understood what was desired.
Okay. You don't need, I'm not saying you,
Me and Chris can chit chat, but I don't think it needs to be about this.
okay.
All right, last but not least, 26-21, 58 Great Neck Road.
Take these, Josh.
I'll take them, please.
And you guys still have them, I passed them out earlier.
Yes. We've been keeping an eye on them for you, Jim.
Been keeping an eye on them?
Yep, they've been sitting right there. Do you need one?
Is it gonna be all gooey and wet from your eyeballs, or?
Well, there you go,
All
I
your
don't know.
tears?
We'll find, yeah, tears of joy. Do you have one?
I don't have one, no, I don't have one.
Yeah.
I think
Hey, Rob.
we can share.
Sure. All right.
There's one, I know there's one in the file.
All right.
Let's
You got a
read
full-
it
Somebody's
first.
got a full set somewhere?
Just want to let you
got a
know, folks,
small one.
I went in there today, so I went by your camera, so if you saw a GMC truck go in.
We did.
We wondered.
I wanted to let you know that I was doing the job, I had to go up, I wanted to take a look at it, I said, well, I was on, I meant to go by and put my card out, but I I didn't.
Was
So
it-
it was
I
me.
never
Was it
finished
helpful
reading this, I don't
to
think.
me? Was it helpful for you to see it?
I do
We
it
never
to
read
the majority of
Never read it
of all
all.
these petitions.
Good way to do it.
No.
No.
Well,
I started reading it.
I don't
and then
join
you guys said
anything.
Wrong file.
Just to be
Oh, yeah, it's right here.
egotistical or have
No, it doesn't
power.
matter. You gotta
I
read
joined
it.
something to help out the town, to help out the people that come here. This board helps. It's a very courtesy, I didn't use that right, but
I'm just gonna start reading, okay?
we're a pretty good board, that's all I got to say.
All right, so this is the one he gave you originally, Jim?
Yes.
All right,
So you
go ahead.
guys don't get to see this in advance of tonight?
We're supposed to, but we
But
don't.
you're talking, what's supposed to happen or reality?
No, I want to know what's real, that's all.
What's real
So
or
don't
what's
wait.
imagined?
So anyway, okay. Now I
If you
Zoning
have
board-
time, you go on the portal and look, but not all of us busy, we don't really have
Sure.
time to. I mean, Rich does take the time. I used to take time and go check, but running all day.
Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on April 22nd, 2026 at 6:30 PM in room 520 of the Wareham Multi-Service Center, 48 Marion Road, Wareham, Mass. 02571, to consider petition number 26-21 for a special permit or a variance from the requirements of Article 6, Table 625, Note 2, under the Wareham zoning bylaws, to Perched Inc., how do you say it? Perched Inc. of P.O. Box 922, East Wareham, Mass. 02538, proposing new construction of 2,503 square feet, 3-bedroom, 4-bath home with 2-car garage at 58 Great Neck Road. This would appear on Wareham Assessors Map 18, Lot 1002, in the R30 zoning district.
All right, we need name and address for the record?
I am Bob Brady.
Yeah.
I'm Linda Burke, and we currently live at 18 Cypress Street in
And we
Wareham.
own Perched Inc.
Right. Okay, so what brings you here tonight?
We bought the property in 2016. In 2017, we built a kennel. That's why it was interesting to hear that earlier applicant. But it's a full-service kennel. It requires, as you heard, minimum 5 acres. I've been in the kennel business for nearly 20 years now. I have a commercial license in the town of Wareham, have had it for most of those 20 years. Prior to purchasing this location, I was a tenant up in Tyhonet Village in the old Wankinko Rod and Gun Club. And I was there for several years, and we wanted to own our own. The landlord wanted to do something different with that building, and they ended up taking it down. We happened to find what was originally 52 Great Neck Road. It underwent a couple of subdivided lots, and we became 58, which is the balance of what we purchased. So when we made our application to build our kennel, we had an entire site plan that included that building, which is a 30 by 42 doghouse kennel, the whole D-Night Title V system, together with the footprint of the house to be built thereon. We built the kennel first because we had to move that operation from Tyhonet to somewhere else. We found a site that had more than 5 acres. Bare minimum for a full commercial kennel license in the town of Wareham. Excuse me. So we built that building, we transferred the operation, and we then dealt with cancer treatment. So building the house became a back burner. We got through that, all well and good. What we didn't know at the time was our conservation conditions expired in 3 years. So we had to reapply to the Conservation Commission to get our new order of conditions, which we did last year. We are now, with engineering, together with some site work already started,
made application to the town of Wareham to now build the house. It got denied by the commissioner because there's a section in the zoning bylaw that says you cannot have what he's calling an accessory building closer to Great Neck Road than the primary residence. Now, what's interesting is we still have almost 12 acres. The setback on the accessory building / kennel is almost 300 feet from Great Neck Road. The house will be almost 400 feet from Great Neck Road. So I wasn't certain, and neither was the commissioner, as to whether we should be applying for a special permit relative to that setback or a variance, so I put both on the application. And here we are before you now, finally getting ready to build our house and are seeking relief from a denial.
Well, the bylaw in Wareham, it says like if your house is here, if you build an accessory structure, garage, gotta be equal or behind.
Right.
Apparently, where you are, you have a strong hardship the way it's laid out and it's set back.
Yeah.
So.
Especially if you look at the colored version of the map, you can really appreciate all the setbacks that are in place here. You would never see the house from the road regardless of where it ended up being, because there's what they call a freshwater pond. I think it's actually a vernal pool or road water runoff or something like that. And so that's going to always block the view of the house.
No, I'm just explaining the bylaw. I know the property
Right,
very well.
we read the.
You guys did a good job.
We read the bylaw. We understand it.
I'm just making it easy for we have a lot of these things come before us, especially like people can put a shed in the back of the house because the house all the way at the end, there's no room or a garage, so they have to do it in the front. So something similar to this.
Well, we had the entire plan approved in the beginning. We just happened to build, it was all laid out, and that's on file in the town. We just happened to build the kennel first, and, just didn't immediately thereafter build the house. I don't know what would have happened. We'd have had a different commissioner, I suppose.
You would have, it was approved by the commissioner back then?
The plan was approved.
Yeah.
By
In
who?
27,
By the building department?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2017.
Because
That's how we got
those
the permit.
bylaws been here forever.
Well, that's how we got the permit to build the kennel. The whole plan was approved.
Anyway.
So that was new to us, the whole
No big deal. Here we are.
accessory building
You have a
setback.
question, Carl?
No, not right now.
Roy?
I'm good.
What year did you build this kennel?
2017 and 18.
We were on the, I remember this application.
I didn't need a variance.
Yeah, you came in front of us.
We came before the Conservation Commission.
Right.
He doesn't need a variance because he's building a kennel. He can do a kennel.
I got more than 5 acres,
Right.
which was deliberate.
Okay, maybe it was a different one, Great Neck Road,
No,
everything.
that was the piggery. They had pigs, but they're not supposed to have pigs.
No, that's
Or
the
was
ponies
it
for ponies you're
the
talking
piece
The
for
about.
ponies, the ponies.
yeah.
I saw
Ponies
pigs.
for ponies
Ponies,
or-
but,
Right.
yeah, ponies for pigs.
Yeah.
Ponies for
wild
peas,
or
or
something.
peas for
I think
ponies.
they had
No, different
donkeys
one.
too.
No, there was a kennel, we approved the kennel, but, because
That was on Charge Pond Road.
you can't, you can't have an accessory
Over-
building
over by
without a
your
primary,
development.
and unless that was the, but anyway, all he really needs is a variance to have the kennel,
Closer to the road
street than the
than the
residence.
house.
Exactly. Or
And
the
we don't need to
house.
make a big deal out of it, I'm okay with it.
Chris?
I'm okay with it. I think it's fine. And one could also argue that maybe the riverfront is the front of the property.
That's what I said.
We were going to say that. It's funny you said that.
People kayak up that estuary.
Yeah, it's tidal.
Yeah, it's not really a
Yeah.
river, but.
Rich?
Oh, I'm good.
You good? Okay, you good before we close?
Anybody online got any comments?
On, against, or for? I hear none, no one's here.
You want to make, I'd like to make a motion to close the public portion of this hearing.
Okay, motion to close by Jim,
Second.
second by Troy. All in favor, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Rich?
Aye.
And myself, aye. On the variance.
I make a motion to grant a variance to allow the dog kennel, the pre-existing kennel, to be closer to Great Neck Road than the residence that's to be constructed.
And the finding it meets statutory requirement of MGL 40A, Section 10. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Second by Troy. All in favor, say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
Myself, Nazir, aye. Carries, you good?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
I think you probably should keep these. These are
Okay.
become valuable and they're expensive.
But if you need any place for your dogs to go during the day, there's
And we'll make you a coffee.
this is it. That's it, we're done.
No, that's the appeal.
Yeah, I've been,
This is the charge pond. This is with
it's
the,
in the wrong file.
yeah. That's the other one that we told them re-advertise.
So why is it in here?
Just the paper, huh? Just the paper. Still over
Just
there.
something got stuck in the wrong folder. So this is Charge Pond Road.
And that's right there. This belongs to it too, right there. Charge pond road too.
Charge Pond Road, Charge Pond Road.
Anything else on that dog kennel? Somebody have? No?
Nope, we turned ours in.
All right, guys, anything to discuss before we adjourn? Go ahead.
Thank you again.
I know,
Thank you, good luck, Bob.
Good night. Thanks.
I know that our ship has getting new captains and new crews as far as our material comes, but the agenda, like tonight, we need to have the dates and everything put back
Oh,
on them.
Yeah, for the,
I mean, it's gonna make it easier for everybody, and it's,
for the deadlines.
all that stuff has to be put back in here. I don't know what happened, everything's just falling apart. I understand that the new crew, but
1 second,
Have you met the new people yet? The new.
I might have a quick. Josh?
Yes, sir.
The new lady, what's her name in the office?
Two of them, Kim and Kathy.
Kim and Kathy, can you ask them for, on the agenda, if we could, I know they just started, they put the deadline, time that we had before, so we
You
know.
want the chart back?
Right. We
Chart
used-
back, yeah, no
We used to
problem.
have them on the paper, so we know, and usually Chris is good to follow up with this. And also if, they could send the agenda on Monday if possible. Today, I didn't see it, it was sent 5:20, I wasn't even home.
well, last week it got sent out on time, but
Then it
at
got
noon,
changed.
at noon on Wednesday, it changed. And when I got here, there was a whole bunch of stuff on there that I didn't even have an idea of.
Yeah, she
So-
had just started, that lady. So let's, if we could do the agenda on Monday, it'd be great.
So-
Or early Tuesday.
Yeah,
How's
we,
that?
we will send it to you when we post it with the clerk.
And, and the meeting minutes. The meeting minutes must be getting long now, because we've been continuing them, right?
I think we got caught up. I think there's only the one that we've tabled. There's two?
Yeah, there's two outstanding.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Well,
Make a
once
motion.
once with that lady catch up, I guess the new girl, I think things will go. Once she get the hang of it, hopefully things will go better.
Yep.
All right, motion, you have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
A motion to adjourn by Rich, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jim, all in favor say aye. Troy?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Chris?
Aye.
Richard?
Aye.
And myself, Nazir, aye. Thank you. Thank you, John.